just for a night. We're in paradise. Yeah, stay side. Aight, whether you ready or not. Nothing less but a no that is test. It's a test that you will be exposed. Game time solid, rise to the top. Game time solid, rise to the top. In a moment, every second that you find on the clock, champion on a mission and no hope. Stop. I see through your eyes like a window. Nothing inside, no heart when it gets cold. Try to take mine, that's bad from the get go. When I put it on, you have it worse than they stand home. Think about the outcome, think about your health, bro. Think about
Hello and welcome everybody to day 2 of Brawl at the Beach EU 2v2, and we got a lot of great top 8 action today here for you guys. If you were paying attention yesterday, we have 8 fantastic 2v2 teams here in Blue and Simple, Akno and Hyson, Zapapi and Ariel, Diemvinke and Blaze, Pavelski and the Ninja, Fizz and Machete, Viper and Agzo, JK Zyder and Daiku. And those are going to be the top 8 teams today. I'm Yuga Froned, and this is my buddy Scriv here. Scriv, how are you doing today?
I'm good, I'm good. The weather is not too bad out here in the UK. It's kind of nice, and I'm excited to get rolling. I was watching a little bit yesterday. The interesting thing for me was, Akno and Blaze not kind of pairing up, so that's certainly something a bit different. But for the most part, I think it kind of went the way we expected in some cases. But I just want to, very quickly pick up on that point that you were making throughout the day with Starlight. It was like, EU, anything can happen. We got Blue and Simple, who look really good for the most part, but anybody else could maybe be taking the crown or contending with them for that top spot. I think it's going to be a really exciting top 8.
I think so as well. I think it's going to be definitely an exciting top 8, and I believe what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be starting on the bottom side of the bracket, get the bottom bracket round 1 out of the way, so that we can move into the upper side of the bracket. We're going to move from the bottom to the top. If anyone types in !bracket, they can see at what point where we are in the brackets. But to start things off, we're going to start off with Viper and Agzo versus JK Zyder and Daiku. And we saw a lot of good stuff from both of these sides yesterday, and we are going to see two Ragniers to start things off, one on either side, Daiku and Viper playing them respectively, and JK Zyder on the Koji, an interesting pick that I don't remember seeing yesterday from JK Zyder, but it's not a bad pick, and nonetheless, Bow and Sword both have some great 2v2 combination options, and Agzo on the other side with the Thor, he was playing it all throughout yesterday, a very strong pick, great signature moves, especially with the hammer, with the high damage, high force, knockback, whatever you want to call it. He is going to be bringing a lot to the table. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But here we go. Viper and Agzo versus JK Zyder and Daiku getting things started off today on day 2 of EU Brawl at the Beach.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. I think it goes without saying in EU, in 2v2's one team. Always going to be an axe in there, I think, somewhere. Obviously, we've got the Ragnar, who I think has definitely moved up, was already pretty strong in 2v2s, but with the guitar changes, a hell of a lot safer these days. A bit of damage coming in early on, no one really finding anything too substantial. They are just kind of splitting things up, sticking together, but Viper picking up that recovery. JK Zyder is kind of all over the place at the moment. Will eventually get taken out here. Maybe trying to save him is Daiku, and it cost him his life. Okay, well, that was a risky one.
Huge dive down, a very big chase down off stage to get those 3 down airs onto Daiku to finish off that first stock, and that was a very nice coordinated effort from both Agzo and Viper to get a lot of damage up, and now things are going directly off stage again. Looks like Agzo and Viper are trying to direct JK Zyder and Daiku off stage, especially to that right side, but I think they'll take either off stage potential edge guard situation. Daiku going really low, trying to find an opportunity here, knocking Viper down. JK Zyder is going to take another fall from Agzo, but it looks like the red team is going to be losing their first stock. Daiku, very dangerous position in the red right now, and he's got to be very careful. Agzo's going to find that KO off on that left side.
Yeah, just inches away there for Viper, but ultimately it is still that red team in the lead. JK Zyder able to rotate around, gets a little bit safe. The down sig coming out, not something that we see very often, but working out to at least do the damage. Agzo still being, again, as he kind of was yesterday, the stock tank, I suppose, taking that point in defense, already pretty high defense on Thor, so he's just surviving for as long as he possibly can, survives that recovery, and is just staying alive at the moment, allowing Viper to move in and do the damage, who he himself almost losing the second stock. Eventually Agzo goes down, but ultimately there is such a lead here that it should be in favor of the red team, you would say, here in this first game, but obviously we'll see. It is Brawlhalla. Anything can happen, but both in the orange, it is not looking good for Daiku and JK Zyder.
Well, it's not over until it's over, and the fat lady has not sung yet, and right now Agzo is getting, he's trying to finish this opera off right. Viper taking the full force of that down air from JK Zyder. He's going to throw that weapon away, missing that weapon throw combination, but Viper is going to take the fall from Daiku's down air, and Agzo just trying to survive right now, holding on to the last second stock in the game right now, and Viper holding on to the guitars off stage, trying to find a good opportunity to find a potential gip on JK Zyder. Looks like Daiku is going to take the recovery and get thrown out of the sky off the top. And now Viper and Agzo are going to try to group up against JK Zyder here on the outside of this island. It's going to be very, oh, and there it goes, very quickly. Very easily done by the Aura, just a simple neutral air into recovery follow-up, one after the other. And that's going to be game number 1 going to Agzo and Viper. Now remember everyone, every game in this top 8 is going to be a best of 5. So we were going to the first to 3, whether that's in 3 games, 4 games, or of course 5 games. So we'll see how today goes, and I think it's going to be good. But here we go, game number 2, getting banned out and underway.
Yeah, interesting to see the Koji really not working out for me personally, but JK Zyder, you know, he feels he's got something available on it, didn't show the full potential. A skin change, boys. He is now the street samurai instead of the like neon samurai, I guess. But all the same, I don't know. Agzo surviving for so very long, and you know Viper playing perfectly around it to just kind of move in, use him as the distraction, as it were, and do the damage. He also having a point in defense here, so they're going for the very tanky, you know, play aggressive, take the hits, and fight fire with fire type of play. And it definitely worked out there. It was a pretty convincing, you know, kind of victory for them. I believe both of them still on 2 stocks. At the very least, Agzo definitely was. And we'll see here. They don't get the weapons early on, so that's certainly something, I suppose, for the blue team, at least for now, to try and gain that control off the stage. Agzo will go. This is a messy one, but it's Daiku, surely, no, able to survive. It is all over the place right now at Mammoth Fortress.
Oh, the turnaround from JK Zyder to get the side sig onto Agzo, throwing it back off stage. Now Viper and Agzo going off stage to trace down JK Zyder. The slap onto JK Zyder. He's trying to make his way back, but Viper, oh, going to get stuffed out with the down air. Now looking for the sword approach on to Viper to keep him separated from Agzo. There's the side sig. Clash a little bit there from Daiku, but he is going to find that KO, and now off stage is going to be JK Zyder following suit off the bottom of the stage from Viper, and now Daiku making his way back, saved by JK Zyder. A very nice save down there to keep his partner alive. It's always something you want to see in these 2v2 situations because things can get very, very rough. Daiku off stage getting a lot of hits, but not able to find that KO.
Kind of trading about here. Random sig being thrown out by Agzo, trying to find something at this point. This is a hell of a lot, you know, closer than the other, but eventually that stock lead will go the way of the red team. It's very, very narrow though, and here comes JK Zyder on this Koji, looking on the sword, you know, that fast in and out kind of style that it has, looking to try and take a stock away, landing a sig onto Agzo, but of course that point in defense, he is hella tanky, and Viper may be in the red, but he's not quite as deep as maybe JK Zyder thought. Oh, but that is nice, boys. Oh, that is not, no. Oh, goodness.
It just went from 100 to 0 real quick.
Oh, God. That is pretty awkward, but yeah, and that might just be one of those kind of plays that really turns the tide. Agzo catching with the recovery, and now it's 2 stocks to 1 stock on, you know, either side of the table. It is not looking too good again for the blue team, and that's certainly going to be, you know, something you've got to keep the mental fortitude after a play like that. You really do.
Daiku with the recovery there, throwing Agzo back across the stage. Viper almost eliminating JK Zyder, not almost finalizing that, putting it in writing it in stone. And now Daiku all by himself off on the side of the wall, looking for a KO potential on Viper. He's got both red team players below him, and that is going to be the double. Daiku with a very explosive offstage finisher onto both Agzo and Viper. Huge plays coming out right now.
That is pretty massive. This is kind of where we'd say, you know, of course, Ragnar maybe going to be a bit difficult for him in the 2 versus 1. That Axe, never ideal, but there is the caveat, it's EU. Everybody likes Axe, so they've probably played a lot of these situations with the Axe before. We'll see whether Daiku can get it done Obviously going to be feeling it. The red team is respecting him so very heavily, not going off the edge really to fight him, as, you know, they saw what happened just a few moments ago. A bit of damage being traded back, but for every hit that Daiku gets, it seems the red team getting 2, you know, and obviously that damage is going to stack up over time. They are perfectly happy just to let him get that slip and have to come to them. He will eventually move on, trying to find something here, but nothing really coming. Lands a bit of a down air, and he forces both of them off. But again, they give him that respect. They back away. Agzo going to send him flying out to the side, and I think, the control, nice little bit of spacing to get a bit of team damage coming in. The red team getting desperate for this. It's getting closer and closer for Daiku. Maybe just a recovery hit or some string that lands onto one of them could really make the difference here, but he's playing so passive, as are the red team, not giving him anything at all, and this is so very smart from them, and eventually they are able to finish off.
They really couldn't go off stage to dedicate too hard against Daiku, because like what happened in that second stock for both of the red team players, they went off stage to try to dedicate a lot of movement and attacks and everything else, a lot of edge guarding into trying to just get the kill right on Daiku right at the start, and that definitely did not work. He found the double kill and brought it to a much closer position, moved back across the stage and trying to do the same thing, but they got a little smart there. They didn't, like you said, they didn't chase down. They weren't overextending at all, and that was a very smart thing for them to do in order to take that game down, because they could just play it really slow, take really opportunistic hits where they could come, and then find that finisher when Daiku just did one move a little bit too far out of place, and that's what happened. We had the kill right off on the top, and that was it. But now we have game number 3 here on Blackguard Keep. Viper and Agzo versus JK Zyder and Daiku getting off right now.
Yeah, we'll see. This is a bit of a change coming in for JK Zyder, of course. That Koji not working out once again. Only, I think, 270 damage around there, so a little bit of dead weight, to be perfectly frank. But we'll see. He moves on to this Bryn. What can he get done with it? We're split into 2-1 versus 1s. This is definitely what all the boys would say, but Agzo seems to be winning his out. My goodness.
He's not only winning, he is brutalizing that 1v1 against JK Zyder right now, and it is not even close. JK Zyder in the red, and Agzo still just barely not even out of the yellow right now. Daiku taking the fall, and Viper finishing off JK Zyder as well. This blue team is not having a good time right now. The jump got stuffed out. Daiku still making his way back. Viper trying to make his way back across the other side, and the consolidation in the middle of the stage from both Daiku and JK Zyder is only going to last for a second, as they both could split apart once again.
A little bit of team damage being traded as well. You know, you can tell this blue team getting desperate, of course. This is kind of last chance saloon for them. They really need to be taking this one to, at the very least, make the set competitive, let alone stay in it. It's just looked so very dominant. You know, Viper and Agzo seemingly a step ahead the entire time. Both in the red here, so do need to be careful, but so is JK Zyder once again. Just kind of really far behind everyone else. He's not been having the best of sets. The pressure seemingly getting to him somewhat. Oh, but a nice little haymaker and the million-mile ground pound coming in.
I thought Agzo was for sure going to be able to get back. That platform was right at the most bottom point that it could possibly be at, and that's typically the best place for it to be when you're trying to recover, especially when your opponents are so far away. But wow, I'm actually really surprised that he managed to lose that stock there.
It's definitely surprising, to be fair, and Viper being tested somewhat. JK Side doesn't quite catch him. He does manage to get his resources back and is able to move back in, but they're certainly pulling this back somewhat. But yes, it is the fact they're both in the red. Nice little catch from Agzo to take out Daiku as well. And immediately, as soon as I said, the classic caster's curse, as soon as I said they were coming back into it, they're straight back down into the dumps, of course. And now
it always happens, doesn't it?
Stock behind. Yeah, it's kind of a blessing and a curse, you know?
It's literally a curse. Viper and Agzo, though, making their way back in a little bit, getting a little bit of damage off right now. JK Zyder just trying to get the mix up, or not make their way back in, they're trying to make their way back on top of the blue team, I should say. But JK Zyder with the double side air, trying to get Agzo back out, and now Agzo going to make his way back in, but Viper taking the fall. The haymaker, not quite enough to finish him, but the weapon throw is. And there goes those second stocks. Daiku and JK Zyder still in it. They have to be. Oh no! Daiku going to take the fall. JK Zyder the 2v1, but he's not going to last too much longer as Viper comes in with the side sig. That is going to be a quick 3 and out from this game. and JK Snyder and Daiku dropping out, with Axo and Viper moving on to the losers quarterfinals to face off against whoever loses up in the top bracket.
Yeah, pretty surprising stuff, to be honest. I don't know. I just think the picks maybe from JK Snyder, he just wasn't feeling as confident, perhaps, as maybe we would want to be, when you come into a tournament, when you're playing the certain picks that he was going for, and seemed to have the levels on them, seemed to have the experience, but just not really able to perform to that high standard that, Viper and Axo were just looking so clean, honestly. And it's a great little combo, where Ragnar on that axe, chunky damage, and then Thor is just so very tanky, and they seem to have, got a lot of experience on that together. They're like playing it so clean, and they look so good just together as a unit, especially.
I mean, the team synergy between those two was phenomenal. Axo was Axo was in the right place almost every single time, every single attack, neutral light, side sig, whatever you want to say, because whatever attack that Viper was throwing out on stage, Axo was on the side platforms, ready to combo it up with a side air, with a signature move, just whatever you could think of. He was on the point every single time. And that's the kind of thing you want out of these 2v2 teammates. You want to be able to throw those 2v2 combinations, combos, strings, black holes in the mix as soon as you get those opportunities, and you got to be in sync with your teammate. And that's what they were, exactly, in sync with each other. And that was how they got that 3-0 win. But we are going to see now the next game coming up right now. This is the Ninja and Pavelski versus Machete and Fizz. And Machete and Fizz both playing the Enchantress pick, the Fate pick. So this is going to be a very interesting one, especially on the double up on the Scythe and the Orb.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've seen the Orb, Dusk maybe not so hot, but as kind of Fate and Thor especially, we have seen that Orb come into prominence, I suppose, in the past few months. And I don't know, I think it's super fast is one of the things, and you can especially in 2v2s, very quickly in and out, do a bit of damage, very similar to the sword in that sense. But we'll see who's going to get the weapons to start off. It will be Fizz picking up one, and it is, of course, going to be the Ninja getting the other, and just kind of throwing them away, looking for this weapon control. Of course, the Lin Fei at the moment, seems to be maybe kind of creeping in. The changes to Katars make her a bit stronger, but it's all about that damage, really, not really being there. It can make life difficult, especially against two Fates. They are going to be chunking you out a little bit easier.
Especially with the Scythe, they have a little bit more range to try to get on top of both Katars and potentially even Cannon on the right moves. Guns, maybe not, but the Katars on both can be outranged a little bit, and the Orbs give a lot of aerial coverage as well. But we'll see how this comes out. Right now, both of the red team players are already taking a stock loss, and Fizz and Machete have been doing just phenomenally in building up that damage.
Yeah, I don't know. This seems like a little bit of a strange one in places. Again, it's breaking down into 2-1v1s in a lot of scenarios. Nice little pick up. The Katars recoveries working well, and eventually they find both kills. It takes a bit of effort onto Machete especially, but eventually they are going to clean things up. And I mean, not taking too much damage. Lin Fei moving across to the orange, though, again, just a little step ahead. That's a nice catch from Fizz coming in, almost gimping out the Ninja. Not quite. Again, just kind of moving on top of each other, using the range of these sides, like you say, to try and make their way in, especially against those Katars, not giving them any room at all. Fizz just looking so good, but there's always someone else waiting. It's a pretty good little combo coming in. Fizz takes his time. He's able to find that kill, and this is looking really good for the blue team.
Already, Fizz trying to get a little bit more damage onto the Ninja, throwing those aerials out, looking for even more and more area control and damage. Pavelski, though, on the opposite side, looking for that kill off stage. Fizz with the assist, though, is going to throw Pavelski underneath the stage, and all those aerial options that he threw out, trying to get the KO onto Fizz, onto Machete, that is going to be all for naught as he takes the fall, and that is now the Ninja finding the kill onto Fizz on the bottom as well, using those Katar aerials. And now the neutral stick follow-up off of the late double is the kill onto Machete off the top. And now all the stocks are evened up, but the damage is a little bit closer than it was before as well.
Yeah, this is definitely doable, especially Pavelski pulling out these strings right now on the Katars. Will get hit by the side light, side air of that orb. Obviously a pretty good kill option, but not really around that area as yet. This Lucian pick is working really well for Pavelski. Oh, the down sig coming in, and that's going to give them the advantage that they need. Machete is going to have to try and fight back, and one thing I was going to comment on is how well those two sides work together. Unfortunately, he is now left by himself, and the issue with this side, and as soon as you start stringing up someone, you leave yourself very, very vulnerable to an attack from behind. It's not a great weapon at kind of, you know, just hitting once or twice, like maybe a hammer or an axe or a lance, perhaps. It's not quite as chunky. It's all about the finesse, you know, it's all about landing those big strings, and I think that's going to be pretty difficult for Machete in this situation. They are all pretty low at this point. It could go either way. The side air going to hit, and the weapon toss goes in. Oh my goodness, the book comes out from Machete as he wins a 2 versus 1 he had no right to taking.
What in the world was that? Machete just with an explosive recovery into the side air, into the weapon throw, just combo, just combo hit after combo hit, and no recourse from the red team in that situation there was going to lead to any sort of kind of recovery, and that was just an explosive play from Machete. What a huge comeback, a huge clutch, and what a way to finish that match.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's so unfortunate. Just watched it back on the replay. You know, it's Pavelski. He gets hit by kind of those active frames of the side air. I think he was moving in to try and punish, you know, and he gets shot off to the side. Sure, it doesn't take him out, but it certainly sets up Machete to do so. That is unfortunate timing for him. We are going to see a switch up here from the Ninja onto the Vrax, so we'll see about this one. We've got that Lance coming in now, and he starts off pretty well. Of course, that deck's super, super high. It's real hard to punish the Vrax, and we have seen him, you know, Boomy kind of bringing this one in for sure. The blasters, I feel, especially on Vrax, are really, really good, but obviously on this Lance at the moment. Started off well for him, but he's the one that we've been talking about him. He's taken a hell of a lot of damage so far. The floaty style, again, of that Lance, you know, going to be difficult against the speed of the orb and the finesse of that side. So we'll see.
Well, where it lacks in speed and finesse and might bring the damage, the force knockbacks, it comes in real hard and hits it hits even harder, and that's what the Ninja is looking for in that Lance pick, and is what I'm guessing. It comes with a lot of map control potential as well. You can play that middle of the map. You can dash back and forth. You can really cover a lot of space with those side lights and side airs, down airs. Just a mixture of every single one of those. And if you get something going, you can take someone all the way to the edge of the map, all the way to the blast zone. So we'll see how he takes this one into account. Pavelski looking for a little bit of damage, though. Taking a little bit of damage at the same time, but they're going to find the KO onto Fizz. Now they're going to collapse onto Machete. This Kirby's air ride coming out, but it's not going to find any connections there. And that's going to force him off stage.
Yeah, Pavelski at the moment, staying alive. Look at that as he goes in on the X pivot. It's a bit of a commit. He saves himself, but he also saves Fizz. That was certainly a spicy one for just a second, but he does manage to pull it back. Pavelski still surviving here, eventually gets taken out. But the fact that he has been on that third stock for so very long, he's going to be on white when everybody else is pretty heavily damaged. But his teammate, the Ninja, going out. I missed it, but it sounds spicy.
Fizz had Pavelski, he had the Ninja on the left side and just he got hit after hit after hit with the scythe, following up in a weapon throw that I don't think anyone was expecting to connect, because typically people manage to find those dodge windows to get away from those kind of things. But that was a huge KO, and there's another one right there on the right side. Pavelski taking the fall, getting caught by the fate down signature, and Fizz is just popping off right now. The Kirby's air ride coming straight across, landing on the Ninja, just dealing. I got to see how much damage he's done at the end of this game, because he is landing so much damage.
For sure. I mean, you know, we commented Pavelski came into that one. He was on white, and Fizz has outlasted him completely, looking really good on this orb right now, just connecting hit after hit after hit. It's a bit risky on the side sig, but it's been working. Might as well keep trying to go for it. Side light, side air coming in from the Ninja, but not enough to take Fizz out. He is still managing to survive. I think he was the one that might have put a point into damage as well. He will eventually get taken down by the recovery, but look how low everybody else is. Could go either way. One or two good strings, especially on that Lance, could be the difference maker, but the Haymaker will take out the Ninja, and it's all on to Pavelski. Again, unfortunately, these weapons that he's got... I mean, the blasters, I think, can maybe do a bit of damage here or there, but it's not massive damage, and he dodges straight into the down sig. As if that's not a way to sum up how that second round went. I mean, it's not crazy damage. It's not crazy damage, but definitely,
It was
I think,
actually
you know...
a lot closer.
Yeah,
I thought it would be a much bigger disparity.
Right, he started off kind of slow, I think, and then really picked it up on his second stock, and that's where maybe the difference was for the blue team.
Either way, they are going to be taking game number 2, or is that game number 1? That's game number 1, right?
No, that is game number 2. That is game number 2.
That is game number 2. Okay, it's just not updated on the bracket, and that's for some reason throwing me off. I looked over there. Either way, Machete and Fizz are 2 games up to 0 against Pavelski and the Ninja. And we're going to be seeing a little bit more going into game number 3.
2, 1, brawl.
Ooh, and it's small boys.
Brawlhalla. Oh my gosh, this is something that we did not see yesterday. Something that I was really hoping that we would see, but now bringing it out in top 8, and I am infinitely more interested because this is where the money shows its face and where people bring out the best in themselves, and this is just going to make everything that much harder, especially for Fizz and Machete playing a lot longer weapons. I mean, they can definitely find the KOs a lot quicker, but so can the Ninja. If he and the red team get a early lead and they just hold on to the map positioning as best as they can, the Ninja with that lance can just hold on to the map for the entirety of the game. And this is something that Machete and Fizz have to be very, very wary of.
Yeah, certainly it is that kind of that surprise pick, I suppose. Pavelski holding that one all the way down. He's burnt his dodge as well. Will manage to survive, though, just about by the skin of his teeth, but taken out by the side air as he was caught fighting Machete. Fizz again on the Sigs, looking clean. Will secure the stock lead for the blue team, but it is a very narrow lead, to say the least. However, weapon not yet picked up by Pavelski. He will go for it. He's actually managing to bring it down to a 2 versus 1 now as the Ninja takes down Fizz. And denying the weapon just for now. I mean, going to make all the difference. You know, there's not really any room on small Brawlhalla to be running away, waiting for the next weapon spawn. You are constantly in the fight, constantly in the trenches with this one. Trying to find this next pick onto Machete. It's not coming yet. Nice little string coming in from him. Damage certainly being done. Pavelski is the one that's low. Misses the down sig. Takes a bit more. But there it is. Brat's going to take him out with a down sig of his own. And it will, of course, be now the stock lead going the way of the red team. Once again, Pavelski is staying alive despite the odds.
Machete with the Kirby Zero looking for it. The Ninja off stage, not going to find him though as he goes high. Pavelski needing a little bit of help, goes off stage against Fizz, and Fizz with the orb doesn't quite find the damage there to find a KO off stage. Machete though, oh no, Fizz with the recovery is going to find that KO off the top on Pavelski, and the double on the bottom of the stage on the opposite side, chasing it down the Ninja as well. And now it's just 1 stock and 1 stock left on the red team. They got to be very, very careful, especially with Machete only in the yellow. This is a very, very bad position for the red team to be in, and they have to be exceedingly cautious moving forward now.
It's going to be difficult on this lance. Little bit of 6 spam, I think we could say, coming from the Ninja. Nothing really landing as yet. Eventually it will. Machete able to survive for now, dodges that one across and trades the damage back, takes a weapon toss to the face, returns one, quick little neutral sig coming in, but he is caught by Pavelski. Taken out, but only for just a second. Oh my goodness, the unarmed string's coming in. The dodge from Pavelski is very well timed, and Fizz, he committed too hard, he's lost everything, but it's into the 1 versus 1 on either side of the map. Pavelski left in the red. This is going to be a tough one for him for sure. He does have his hands onto the weapon. This is going to need a hell of a 1 versus 1 showing from him, to be honest. I mean, Machete knows it. Just landing the odd hit here or there is his game plan. 2 side airs in a row. And it will be Machete and Fizz moving on forwards.
And there it is. Blue team taking it down in very nice fashion. And I got to say, that was one heck of a second and one heck of a game, especially at the end there, that second to last KO when I somehow won a community color code. So that was a very interesting interaction right there, right at the second KO. What an interesting happenstance. But either way, we had Machete and Fizz moving on to the next round, waiting on the loser of, I believe this is going to be the next games of Happy and Area, unless we switch around and start down from the top. But
I believe we are.
it looks like Hyson, Akno. So we are going to be starting from the top of the winners bracket coming down. So we are going to find out who is going up against Viper and Agzo. And that will be coming up in just a second. But let's see what we got from these players here. We have Simple and Blue versus Hyson and Akno. Not Agzo, we just saw him. Akno, very similar names. It can get kind of confusing.
I think
especially if they're in the same game with each other.
Yeah, in the lobby as well, you know, they had joined the wrong teams by accident. So it's all very confusing in EU. Not quite as streamlined, unfortunately. Sorry about that. But no, I mean, this is kind of interesting, actually, in terms of, you know, so first of all, we've got Akno not playing with Blaze. That's generally what we see. Trying something out a little bit different. And also, it's the two styles, I think, of 2v2 choices in EU. We've got 2 swords, we've got 2 axes at the end of the day. Obviously, they've all got more weapons, but I think that is definitely what these guys are going for here. So it's kind of fast up against beef, you know, up against hard-hitting weaponry. I think this is going to be a real difference of styles, a real clash of styles, maybe, and we are on the Mammoth Fortress, so it's not like it's a huge map where there's a great deal of room, but of course those walls are going to make for some kind of exciting moments, I think, off stage.
All right, but getting this set started off right now, Akno and Hyson versus Blue and Simple here on Mammoth Fortress. Game number 1. Woo! And already Simple finding the KO off the bottom of the stage, going real deep against Akno. And that is going to be a devastating first stock loss for the blue team.
Yeah, pretty nasty. Oh, the weapon toss going to land. Hyson does have everything. Akno is across a little bit overkill, to be fair. Actually, going to sacrifice a hell of a lot of damage for that. He's already on his second stock, bear in mind, guys. As, of course, he did get pretty harshly gimped. Nice little team combo coming in. Simple and Blue, the Sig landing, and Akno not having the best of times on the Bryn at the moment. He will indeed land a bit of a side air, fighting back at the moment, getting his resets and whatnot, but it's still tough. He's in the red. He's almost taken out on this second stock. Meanwhile, everybody else still on their third. It's his teammate to be the first of those 3 to lose it, though. Simple and Blue just heavily in the lead. As we said at the top of the show, definitely the favourites coming into the tournament, but all the same, this is a very, very dominant opening from them. As yet to lose a stock. Down goes Akno to his final stock, and that allows them the 2 versus 1. A little bit of damage coming in, nothing too crazy, relatively simple, if you'll pardon the pun, but all the same, it is a good little find, and of course, keeping that damage up, and of course, keeping the 3 stocks still.
Definitely holding on to their stocks as long as physically possible. If they hold on to the stocks the entire game, that'll be extremely surprising. Of course, that's not going to be the case at this point. Blue taking the fall from the recovery from Akno, and Akno with the double follow-up with the down air off stage, and that is going to be a big turnaround in terms of stock progression here. But the very nice team combo coming out from Blue and Simple, taking Hyson almost to the top of the map there, is going to be a wonderful way to pull this back into their very extensive lead here. Blue and Simple just really showing a huge amount of force. And another double kill coming out. Blue and Simple looking fantastic right now. Akno completely eliminated in game number 1, and now it's just Hyson all by himself, and this is going to be a very daunting task for him to come back from. I'm not even entirely sure if it's possible with this level of stock success that Blue and Simple have had at this point, but Hyson is he's going to make a show of it. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's a little bit awkward. I think... Oh, the save coming in. But just for a split second, is Simple going to have to do it again? He is. He will manage to save Blue. At this point, though, they're doing more damage to each other than they are to their opponent.
But he didn't get the wall touch.
That's a bit awkward, yeah. He kind of, you know, in between a rock and a hard place, really. Hyson, though, is down to the red, so I think it, like you say, can be fairly simple just based off of that stock lead. And again, you know, the Axe, not great in the 2 versus 1s. He does manage to find another, so he's making it look less dominant, I suppose, towards the end here, but again, left in that red, and the ground pound coming in, catches him completely off guard. It will indeed be Simple and Blue taking that first one. I mean, yeah, very, very dominant. Blue, especially with the 700 damage coming in, but just crazy stuff, really, from them. As to be expected a little bit, but again, you know, these are...
easily doing over double, and I
Yeah.
can't express that enough, over double the amount of damage that the blue team was able to accrue over the entire course of that game number 1. And that was just a very, very dominant showing here from both of these red team players, especially with the very early KO from Simple off on the right stage, or off on the right side of the stage. And that was, I mean, a 15-second, 10-second maybe KO very, very early on. That is something that you cannot take those kinds of falls early, because that will just completely devastate any sort of lead or any sort of advantage you might try to accrue later.
Here we go then, moving on to Shipwreck Falls. A little bit different, I suppose. Again, you know, just kind of very, very flat, but it's the walls this time around that are a hell of a lot shorter. Maybe going to suit the Qatar players on either side, of course. Try and get some early gimps in, but ultimately looking to maybe keep things on stage as a whole, it would appear. Oh, nice little find coming in. No, very low, perfectly timed dodge, though, to survive the ground pound of Simple. Definitely very close. He is playing with fire, but is able to make it back on. The damage is actually kind of in favor of the blue team at the moment. These axes, again, you know, with very little room to work with, a hell of a lot of damage. The first kill going to be coming in for Hyson. Trying to take him out, not quite able to do so. He also very low. I mean, it could go either way at this point in time. It is just the fact that Simple is going to be down that stock. The D-Light recovery not going to land the kill, but damage still coming in. I mean, it's very messy at the moment. Again, seemingly splitting into kind of 2-1 versus 1s. Red team will finally get a kill. Nice little dodge coming in from Simple, and the weapon toss to follow up. Black hole here. Harder with the unarmed for sure, but still doing some good damage on Tyson while he is left on his lonesome.
Yeah, any amount of team combo damage that you can get off, even if it's just 3 hits, is going to be a lot more than someone can normally get on their own. So no matter how few back and forth volley hits that you're going to get, it is always going to be very successful. But there is Akno with the side air onto Blue, and that's going to be his first stock finally gone, but still way in the lead, and that extension from Blue is going to take him so much farther. Not able to go down and save his teammate while getting just teamed up on by Hyson and Akno. That double axe getting a huge amount of damage and allowing them to take a little bit of a lead back after the KO onto Simple. And now Simple looking for something off stage, but Akno not letting him even get close with those axe aerials.
Yeah, they are definitely pulling this one back, to be fair, trying their best to do so. A few weapon tosses coming in, nothing really landing. Just one good string here from the red team, or the haymaker not quite going to land, and Hyson doing a hell of a lot of damage onto Simple. That might just be the end of him. Indeed it is, but it costs Hyson his life. Simple making sure that he dies. No recovery coming in. However, Simple is out. I mean, is it an even trade-off? Not really. Hyson still had the stock available. That's kind of why, you know, he felt like he was safe to commit so hard. And now a 2 versus 1, only left on 1 stock after Akno gets the catch. And I think this is
where, and this looks like the opposite of what we saw in the last game, where Hyson and Akno definitely were down in the stock game. Hyson and Blue 1v1ing a little bit before Akno comes back, but there are plenty of weapon spawns for him. There's no way that Blue can really map guard those weapon spawns. So, but maybe we'll get a little bit of damage. I mean, there's definitely no finalization here in the game until one team loses all their stocks, and Blue, I know, is going to put as much work as he possibly can to get as much damage onto both of these blue team players as possible to try to find any sort of recourse, any sort of clutch situation here. Might not happen, though, as he does get launched into space and out the top of the map. And that's going to do it for game number 2. Tall tied up at 1-1.
Certainly interesting. Going to see the Koji coming out, actually, from Simple, but interestingly enough, going for the point in defense, not really liking the 4 defense. And I think, as far as I'm aware, I think there's a few kind of, you know, maybe 1 or 2 true combos that come through because of Koji's super high dex, which now is not going to be as high. So, well, I suppose it doesn't matter so much when you're moving into the 2 versus 2s again. The sword is very much built on working together, working the very quick kind of just 2-part strings, really, that it has available to it to do that very fast in and out damage. And there you go, you know, just working very, very well together. Once again, Simple and Blue looking like the better team overall, but in the last one, I don't know, I think just, you know, a few tough scenarios not really going their way. And as soon as they split up, things do become a little bit more difficult. And maybe that's what Akno and Heisen have realized. They're like, right, let's just try and isolate each of them. And we seem to win in the 1v1 scenarios because their whole game plan is working together. And again, it seems to be paying off as they find the first stop.
And perhaps even the second stock. Weapon throw coming in from snipe range, and that is going to be Simple's first stock going down as well. Akno and Heisen now just trying to keep this lead going, and Simple at the same time with the bow trying to get a little bit of edge guard action against Akno. Blue doing the same thing against Heisen, almost finding that KO, just coming right back over to help Akno a little bit with the finalization of that stock. But it looks like Heisen is going to be taken off the top by Simple, and Simple with another one off the top with the sword recovery is going to do it for both of those first stocks on the blue team. It's going to get a little bit closer to even now.
Yeah, they are certainly pulling it back. They do have this tendency when the pressure is on. I think they've kind of figured themselves, you know, maybe we play them at their own game. Trying to work together is not quite working out. They punished us in the last game. They punished us towards the start of this one. So let's bring the 1v1s in. Let's try and, you know, play that kind of style. Blue definitely coming across to help Simple out a little bit, though. But ultimately, they're not, you know, looking to land as many team combos, really. Just trying to possibly, you know, catch, as you see, in a string and punish the blue team, as it were, for the choices that they are making. That is a very low commit indeed from Blue. Oh, but the spike, the down air of that spear is pretty rough, as always. It will be Akno going down, and it's now a stock lead, in fact, for the red team. So they have definitely pulled this one back, and Akno going to take a lot of early damage here into his final stock.
Simple stuck off stage on the wall. Heisen's going to find him with the recovery, and that's going to take him out. Akno looking for another recovery on the blue, and the blue team is just tossing him back and forth, and that weapon snipe from downtown from Heisen is going to find the KO on the blue, and this is going to throw the red team into their final stocks. Heisen's still holding on to that second stock, doing a great job at extending the length of that out, and just, well, until I said it, of course, and that was the caster's curse again coming right back. And there it is. Akno, though, taking a fall. I don't think he can get back. He's going to have to get a little help from Heisen, but he is not going to be able to make it back down there to his teammate in order to find him, find a saving grace, a saving throw, if you will, if you're a D&D player out there. But Blue with the double, potentially triple down ground pound, and that is going to do it. And there we go. Blue and Simple taking down game number 3 this time around, getting the lead back in the set 2-1.
Definitely, you know, after that first kind of match, you know, it does look a hell of a lot closer than, you know, we would have expected. So credit where credit is due to Akno and Heisen. Again, to reiterate, relatively new sort of duo partners for these guys, and Simple and Blue, again, always been that team, the one to beat, and they seem to just be able to pull anything out. The Koji, I don't know, I don't think it made so much of a difference. I think it was just the change in the play style from the red team ultimately that, you know, earned them the victory, because they realized, right, it's like, you know, play them at their own game. Our kind of team combo style, it can be very difficult, you know, because if that axe comes swinging in and hits two of you with like a side air or just a side light and kind of, you know, manages to get one of you into a string, it's a much better kind of trade-off for the blue team to go for. And I think they've kind of figured that the axe is maybe where they need to be catching these boys off guard, as they've now gone to the double Ragnar.
They've had so much success on those axe plays. So the double Ragnar, I can't imagine that it wouldn't lead into any sort of anything else other than success with that many, that much power behind the axe, and that much versatility as well in the spread out stat set. But either way, Akno doing a great job holding the center of the stage, getting a lot of damage off of the guitars to start things off, and Simple now trying to turn things around with the bow and the disjointed hitboxes that it does bring to the table.
Yeah, very true indeed. Again, though, they're just playing this 1v1 kind of style. In comes Blue, but he is interrupted by Heisen before he's really able to find anything. Playing it pretty passively here. Akno going to swap across to that axe, looking to get a side sig in, not really landing. Oh, but Simple, he holds the Hitami mats, and he will get taken down, punished for it. And that's certainly awkward. It will be the first stock going the way of the blue team then. But again, everybody in the red, it could go either way. Heisen able to narrowly survive. Will he do it again? No, he won't. This time around, he goes down. And Akno does not fall to the same fate. Not yet. Remaining alive a little while longer.
Ooh, the recovery from Simple there while he may have been going for Heisen. Ended up catching Blue instead. And that actually ended up saving Blue from the big hits coming out from Akno. But either way, it is going to be all 2 stocks except for Akno on the 3rd stock, still the first stock I should say, until that point. But either way, he had a great length of stock lifetime going there, just stretching it out as much as he possibly could have, getting his, a little bit of extra damage, a little bonus damage if you will, trying to get a little bit more onto Simple and Blue before taking that stock loss. But either way, Blue is going to get caught out of the sky by Heisen and the weapon throw. He might not be able to make it back, and there he goes. And that is going to be the fall right there. Simple with the bow now, just trying to survive on his own until Blue can make his way back onto the stage. He's going to find that weapon before getting any damage off. Sometimes people tend to go with that unarmed because it can catch people off and throw them into the sky or off stage, but he's just going to go for that weapon pickup.
Yeah, looking good for the blue team then. Simple still remaining alive. Blue, though, is going to have to take out someone here. Oh, the double, not quite able to find the double kill. Will get one, so at least evening things back up, trying now to deny Akno the way back in, and he will. He gets rid of everything. Can't get back on. The small walls of Shipwreck Falls coming back to bite Akno in the backside on that one. Oh, nice little bit of tech, though, to take down Simple's 2nd stock. So everything all back to even. However, the HPs, despite Blue, you know, being on this final stock for quite a while, are all the same, pretty much. There's only Akno creeping into the orange, really, that's the only difference at this point in time. Again, not looking to go too harsh into the kind of 2 versus 1 situations as they once were. This style change from Simple and Blue has worked out. Oh, the neutral it catches, and he will still manage to kill him. My goodness, Simple going down to try and save the day. Not going to work out. Huge mess coming in on the edge there, but it's the blue team to come out on top. This double Ragnar working wonders for them right now. What can Simple find, though? Again, that sword very in and out, using the chase dodge, dodging the side sig, and he's doing bits of damage here and there. He is in the red himself, but it could still go either way. Trying to get the reversal onto that low HP Akno. Not going to land, though, as it's so very close at this point in time. Bits of damage again coming in. The down light into the side air, but the side sig landing. It's a hell of a long time to be stood still, though. He will take a fair amount of damage for it, but he's brought them both back into the red right now. It still could go either way. Recovery finishes him off, though. And the double Ragnar settle from Heisen and Akno will bring things back into all even.
2-2 in the set. Heisen and Akno taking it down right there. Almost even damage across the board with great team synergy there with the double Ragnar pick. The double guitars off stage, able to chase down very easily without too much damage to your teammate is a very nice thing to have. And that is exactly what they brought to the table with that this time around, especially with the double axe. Whenever they had that opportunity to use that with the huge damage and the heavy signature follow-ups. So here we go into the game of 5, the last game of the set. And either way, someone is walking out on top, moving into the winners finals, and someone else is going to be dropping down to face off against Viper and Agzo. And I have to say, I'm not preferring either team on the basis of who's playing on them. I'm just going to say, I hope it's not Akno and Heisen, because trying to cast a game with Agzo and Akno in the same lobby would be so ridiculous. I if it happens though, you know it happens, and it'll be interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. Either way, game number 5 getting started right now. Simple and Blue versus Akno and Heisen getting kicked off right now.
3, 2.
Well, here we go, back onto the Shipwreck Falls. Certainly an axe coming in now for the red team is something a little different. Gonna manage to save that weapon. Blue coming in with the Koji, but on a different skin, of course. Nice bit of damage from Akno on the axe. So they've been so very beefy. Again, just in and out. 2-part strings. It does a hell of a lot of damage. Blue trying his best to find some back, but he and Akno kind of down into that orange already. Again, though, it's just kind of this very, very messy. It's very, very scrappy. Where we were seeing, you know, those sick team combos coming in from Simple and Blue, it just doesn't seem to be working as well as they wanted. Simple catching Hyson, not able to take him down, but doing a hell of a lot of damage.
Simple trying to get as much damage as possible off with the axe right now, but Akno coming in to try to get a little bit of damage on the Simple. He's going to get knocked away by Blue, and now Hyson coming in on the right side, going to come in and pick up that axe as well. Going to look for a little bit of damage. Akno trying to just stay a little bit safe, trying to stick back away from Simple. He's going to find that side air, and is this going to be the KO? Akno going off stage. There's the spike, and that is going to do it for Simple's first stock. That's going to be the first stock gone in game number 5. Blue now making his way across. He's going to try to have to assist Simple, allow him to pick up a weapon, and there it goes. He's going to finally find that spear.
Ooh,
the double potential.
There certainly is. Oh, it's almost coming in. Hyson is able to survive a little while longer, just playing in and around everybody right now. Has yet to get his hands onto a weapon, does eventually do so. Brought back a bit of control. Oh my goodness, all right. Simple catches him in the neutral air. I thought maybe that was the save, but he was so very low that it doesn't really matter. He was going out regardless. The fact of the matter now is Blue still being on that third stock, really making the difference at the moment for the red team. Akno as well on his second stock, pretty damn low, but so is Simple. I mean, they could have a slight stock advantage, or it could kind of be even in terms of the actual, numbers that it ends up going. And little bits being landed, the double weapon toss coming through. Simple dodging through all the hits coming his way at the moment. His teammate goes out for just a split second, but of course is back on that white, looking pretty strong at the moment. I think, giving him a bit more confidence. He will lose his teammate, however, and this is where things become difficult. Can't really do anything in the 2 versus 1. Has to play it passive. These guitars right now of Hyson being so very clean, just catching tiny bits of damage, forcing players off the stage so very often. Playing really well on this Ragnar, honestly. Hyson obviously having had it out the entire time.
You can see a little bit of a collapsing from the red team. Blue and Simple trying to position themselves on the outside of the blue team, and Blue is going to find that pop-up downlight recovery kill off the top on Akno, and this is going to give them a little bit more room to work with as they even up those stocks and the damage a little bit as well. Hyson now with the guitars looking for the edge guard on the Simple, not going to find it as Simple does position himself on the outside of the blue team, and you can kind of tell that they're going for a little bit of either a black hole potential situation, or just trying to force the blue team to separate themselves from each other and go back into these 1v1s where the red team has been finding a lot of success. Weapon throw, not going to snipe, and Hyson now getting the sidekick. Blue with the bow this time around instead of the sword is going to give him a little bit more disjointed hitbox and longer range to outrange some of these axes and guitars that the blue team are using.
No, in with the really well-timed spot dodge. Does take a side air straight afterwards, but he's able to make it back onto the stage, able to survive a little while longer. Really between him and Simple, who goes down first. By the looks of things, Blue's still got those 2 stocks for sure, but it's going to be tough in the 2 versus 1, one would assume. But I mean, you never know. Could go either way at this point. The weapon toss actually kind of screwing Hyson a little bit. He's off the stage, as is Akno. They're both out at the moment.
Oh, the double potential. Blue going off stage. They're both trying to get back. Akno, that's going to be it for him. Hyson trying to make his way back on the stage. Simple playing the corner. And now Hyson making his way back to trying to find that weapon pickup. But he's going to get caught by the ground pound. The side air from Simple onto Blue, his teammate. And now the side air from Blue onto Simple again. In, I guess, retaliation. Who knows? Hyson trying to make his way back. The down air is not even going to be needed to find the KO onto Simple. But Blue, playing a very patient game, is going to find that KO off on the right side, getting the down air, and that is going to do it. Game number 5 concluded. The set is done. Blue and Simple moving on to the winners finals, and Hyson and Akno dropping down to play against Viper and Agzo. Now we're going to have that Akno and Agzo situation. So all the listeners are going to have to play very close to the ear in order to tell who we're talking about now. Well, not now, but when we get to that game.
Yeah,
because it might get a little confusing.
Yeah. Kind of tough though. We talked about the top of the show where kind of Blue and Simple, those titans, those difficult names to take out, and although they didn't, they came very, very close. And in that final game, definitely there was a point where you felt like Akno and Hyson could have taken it for sure. So pretty surprising to see how close it came, in all honesty. I suppose Blue and Simple, that's their first game of the day. In theory, if everything goes right for them, they've got 2 more to be winning. Either way, we're into our next game, of course. It's Sapapi and Ariel up against DM Vinke, not entirely sure what the pronunciation is on that one. Always been a bit of trouble. And Blaze, of course. So we'll see how this one goes. I think both these teams looking pretty good. Ariel and Sapapi a little bit, kind of under the radar, so to speak. But they've been performing relatively well yesterday. I think looking good. The Azoth pick is not something that we see very often. Sentinel as well is a little bit unorthodox. And these picks really worked out for them yesterday, for sure.
I mean, coming all the way through to the winners bracket with characters that people don't normally expect, I think is, you gotta give them credit for sure. And that's something I've always thought I never really spoke about because, it was never really a meta pick, but Azoth. A very strong character in terms of the 2v2 with the especially the signature moves that you can just throw out whenever you really please, and they last for a long time. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing a lot of again, like we did yesterday. Ariel trying to make his way back though, Blaze trying to get the edge guard as well, and DM Vinke holding the center stage with the lance and going to find that KO. I wasn't actually sure that was going to be a finisher for him right there. I didn't think Ariel had enough damage, but either way now. DM Vinke finding that KO, and now the avenging KO from Sapapi finding DM off on that left side is going to get this game started off right in the first minute.
Yeah, because of these bigger walls here as well on Mammoth Fortress. Oh, nice little downlight into the side air, of course, coming in from the Scarlet. But I mean, yeah, because of these bigger walls, I think we can see a little bit more of the team combos coming in. It's a bit safer to go for it. You've got a lot more room to recover back up. So we'll see. At the moment, big damage coming in from Blaze on the axe. Sapapi not been having the best of times up against Blaze. He does manage to be really having the number of DM Vinke though when he moves across over to that. Trying to avoid Blaze as much as possible. As you can see, Ariel really helping him out, saving his bacon, so to speak. DM Vinke trying to get the catch on the recovery, not going to land. He's in a pretty tough spot at the moment with where his HP is at. Scarlet though, that huge damage could definitely turn the tide of battle for sure. Teammate Blaze going to finally lose that third stock, so it's I suppose an advantage still for the red team, but again could go either way. The spot dodge and on the platform, that's a bit of a tough one. More and more damage being traded back by the Scarlet, frozen up for just a second, no one really wanting to go in. Will eventually go down to the neutral sig, but all the same, a lot of damage done before she goes down.
Now Ariel and Sapapi trying to collapse on, or trying to force into these 1v1s. Sapapi making his way onto Blaze. Blaze just trying to get back to his teammate at this point. But the signature move from Sapapi catching Ariel and almost taking him off the top. Blaze though with the neutral sig coming onto the side, and now Sapapi has to make his way back in. But Ariel faring very well by himself and moving back across. Looking for that neutral sig on a DMPK, not going to find the KO, and the weapon throw from Blaze not going to connect either way. And oh no, he misses the ground pound follow-up off that slide kick, and that is really unfortunate. But he does find the haymaker, the double haymaker coming in left side, popping him off and taking those stocks way down. And that is going to be the lead now being swung back around in terms of the red team for a moment.
Yeah, for a split second there, of course, it's all about DM Vinke at the moment. You've got to watch him. He's just been kind of one step behind everybody else, and brilliantly played from Sapapi just to be very, very patient, burning the dodge, and makes for an easy down sig, of course. The ground that it covers, you know, it looks weird. You're stacked on your opponent. They're kind of like, what is this guy doing? And he hits that down sig, and of course, it comes towards him, as opposed to away, as many sigs in this game do, you know? Nice little catch coming through on the Russian Mafia, I believe, from Ariel. Plays so very low, takes the side sig and the heart at the end from Sapapi to finish it off. So they're going to pick up that first map. A little bit close to call, though, for sure.
Well, going into the second game, we're going to have to see a little bit of a consolidation effort from the blue team. They definitely started off strong in that first game, but they're not. But they couldn't quite find the finishers at the right time that they needed to. DMVK and Blaze really found a space of their own, especially with the Lance coming out from DMVK, and this time bringing it back out to start things off. May spell a little bit of trouble here for the blue team.
Ooh, Sapapi. The GC side sig, and he's really going for it with those side sigs. Nice little team combo straight into that neutral sig of Scarlet. That's going to be a hell of a lot of damage. Traded back. Nice catch coming in from Blaze as well. My goodness, we're seeing some spicy sigs so far on this second map here. Same map of course, on that Mammoth Fortress, but the red team coming back with a vengeance right now. DM Vinker as well, trying to catch up Aerial. The double chase dodge, really throwing in some spicy stuff at the moment. The neutrals landing, of course, but unfortunately his teammate goes down. He again being left pretty damn low. Aerial still pretty low. A team combo coming in, but the wrong way around. As Zapapi's neutral on the axe does catch Aerial off the back of DM Vinker, but all the same, trying to catch him off guard again. Really using this movement on the chase dodge is all about. Oh my goodness, straight into the neutral.
Very nice team combination from Aerial and Zapapi. The neutral light double into the neutral light double again from Aerial to launch Zapapi straight out of the to launch Blaze straight out of the map, and then of course you have the survival a little bit on the other side. But man, what a fantastic offstage compilation there for both of these blue team players, and being able to take that advantage so early on. And there it is, Zapapi looking for a little bit more. Blaze finding a little bit more in terms of side sig confirmations, and that hit confirmation is going to be beautiful, taking Aerial out of his very first stock. Very, very nice stuff coming out from both of these teams.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I suppose one thing we've not talked about too much, that Sentinel definitely a little bit of a tankier legend, so definitely to be considered, but also hits pretty hard with that hammer. Not quite able to find the kill onto DM Vinker, but certainly bringing it close, but the breakdance comes through. Zapapi going to go down. It's now a stock lead for the red team, but it could be brief. It depends. It's all on Aerial at the moment to use, again, that tankiness and the fact that he's still got a fair amount of HP available, but it is slowly dwindling away. It's DM Vinker taking him down to the red, almost taking him out with the neutral sig as well. Nice little team combo as Azoth gets the double. That's going to pull things back into contention now for the blue team.
I really liked what DM Vinka had going on there with the Lance. He had Aerial's dead rights with that Lance play, and had almost every single combination, especially landing some of those attacks that he threw out with a little reverse neutral air flare, which the timing on that allowed him to time out of the timeout against his opponent's dodge window. So he could really throw that out at the right after the hit. His opponent could throw that dodge out instantly, and he'd still find the hit connection because of that reverse nair timing. Very nice stuff. DM Vinka with a spike kill as well on the left side, and now it is going to be Zapapi all by himself for just a split second while Aerials comes back in. Zapapi with the side sig, not quite enough to find the KO, especially against DM Vinka with the lands, but there it is, finally getting taken down. Blaze all by himself with the axe off on the right side in a very dangerous position. Aerial looking for the KO. Recovery not going to connect in the right direction. Blaze looking for a little something here, maybe a recovery coming out, but no, he's stuck on the wall, and the weapon tosses are really just keeping Blaze from making his way back to stage.
Yeah, making life awkward for him for sure. Going to get a big beefy hit onto Zapapi, get him out of action for just a second or two. Needs to find a kill soon though. Bit of team damage coming in. Aerial got to watch out with that hammer. Blaze is playing it well in between. The neutral coming in, caught into the recovery, and a clean little team combo right at the end. The blue team looking really good, especially Aerial on that Sentinel. Dressed up and suited and booted, but he is playing real nice right now. A great deal of damage coming in, and we're going to see something a bit different from Blaze.
And we have the weapon, the legend swap to Sidra, and I think we saw this yesterday as well. In those very close corner matches where he really needed something different to shake the trees. And this time he definitely has that Sidra pick in the pocket just in case for this exact situation. And he's going to be going with the dexterity stance, which gives him a little bit more speed. I don't really remember if this is a character that does get a full benefit off speed, but if it makes him feel better, then that's all that really matters, because that mindset is key. Either way, things getting kicked off. Game number 3, 2-0. Aerial and Zapapi up in the set.
A little bit of early damage coming in once again. Has yet to really see this Scarlet. I don't know, there was some nice moments, but ultimately it has been tough trying to get the catch here. Of course, with that recovery, not going to happen though. Zapapi playing it safe, getting off the edge. Wants nothing to do with it, but straight back out. It is Blaze in the red, though, the first one to go down to the red. Everybody else not far behind. The neutral sig onto Aerial, big and beefy. I believe he was just into the red, and it takes him out pretty easily. The Lance now coming in. As of course, that true combo lands. Neutral sig not quite. Weapon denial coming through, but just for a second. Aerial, however, going to take down the Scarlet, who was so high up It's Blaze on the other side of the map. He gets one. Can he get another? Trying to land a bit of a ground pound. Not going to happen, though. He's still left on that 3 stocks, trying to hold on for them for as long as possible. Onto possibly, you know, the less favorable sword in this kind of situation. I feel like Blaze definitely wanting to be on that cannon at the moment to try and find the big beefy damage. But I suppose when you're on low HP, again, that in and out kind of style could definitely be workable. And Aerial has taken a hell of a lot of damage early on. Oh my goodness, and Blaze surviving that. Top of the map. Gonna take out Zapapi, getting greedy for the kill. And he will straight into the heavens. Whew.
What an absolute monster of a play there from Blaze. They find that the opportunistic pickup from the downlight recovery off on the top in the monocle. What an incredible play there from Blaze. But either way, we did have a lot of stocks lost on either side since that point, which is, I mean, less than 30 seconds since, and that is just the name of the game. Aerial now coming in, a little bit of damage going on to DMVK. Aerial's coming in, looking for a little bit of a Qatar pickup. A Blaze with the cannon has been a literal force to be reckoned with. Just throwing out so much damage and knockback onto players that it is hard for them to deal with, especially off stage. But here we are on stage, and Aerial's with the turnaround pop-up recovery. And there's a Pappy with the follow-up. The recovery off the top is going to lead into a KO against Blaze, and that's going to be the last second stock gone, and it's finalized stocks at this point. And Blaze and DMVK have to take this one down. This side sig and the recovery going down at the same time on either side of the map is going to do it as they take that first victory in the set and the third game of the set.
Indeed, it was not looking good, but the legend swap seemed to kind of save the day for just a second there, and looking pretty good. Again, it's coming hella close, though. There are some really great moments from both sides, honestly. But that Sidra really making the difference for sure, and you know,
it
the
made
cannon,
a huge difference. Those big hits that he was able to take advantage of with the cannon, those really hard hitting force knockbacks, especially off stage with the down air and the ground pound. I always want to call it a down pound. I don't know why, but the ground pound were devastating against the Pappy and Aerial. And the only time they had any sort of recourse is when they had just a bare minimum avoidance of one of those moves off stage with guitars, at least in Aerial's sense. Either way, we have game number 4 underway right now. DMVK with the Lance right in the middle of the mix, trying to get as much force knockback and damage as possible, try to force a early edge guard situation. We'll see if it works out for him and Blaze this time around.
Ooh, cannon! Almost. The neutral sig not quite landing, but Zapapi again feeling the burn of that cannon for sure. Aerial left pretty low, has got to be careful here up against Blaze. Zapapi on the other side of things trying to get an early gimp. Oh my goodness, seems to give her the space, but no, it was all a bait. The MVIC is still going to make it back, however. Blaze trying to land, of course, the kind of straight out of the map. Zapapi, though, with the weapon toss into the downlight. Looking good. The down air, I should say, a little bit messy. On the other side of the map, the same thing is kind of happening. It seems to be the red team who are able to recover things back, who are looking a bit cleaner. But no, Aerial going to find one. Blaze is taking very little damage, though. The Sig not really going to do anything to him. The Haymaker doesn't take out Aerial either. It is coming hella close. It's the down Sig from Zapapi, however, that will manage to find it. I think it was a side Sig, actually, but sent him backwards.
It was a perfect positioning on the side Sig, and whether this was on purpose or not, he had him on the close corner of that neutral, of that side Sig. And the way it works, it has a little bit of a different hitbox than most things. It's not just going to launch you forward. It has a little bit of a center, and if you hit someone on the back end, it will launch them backwards, and that was the closer blast zone, so that was fantastic. Either way, he does get taken off the top, off of his first stock, and DMVK and Blaze are going to have to bring it back just a little bit, but it's still relatively even between the two teams.
Oh, great little spot dodge from DMVK. That does leave him open, though, to the guitar strings themselves, not necessarily the Sigs. Neutral Sig not quite going to land, but Aerial really picking things up here, doing a great deal of damage to both sides. It's a Pappy, really, who's left on the yellow, where everybody else seems to be taking a hell of a lot of damage, especially on that red team. He is remaining relatively unscathed. Oh, great spot dodge from DMVK, going to leave Aerial with a bit of a red face. However, it's the down air that will actually take him out. That gives away how very low he was, how very long they had managed to survive here. It's still Zapapi, still in the orange, where everybody else are taking so much damage. He is just staying alive. So very slippery right now on the skeleton boy. He will manage a little bit more damage. Got to be careful against the Lance here, trying to get the Gimp in. His teammate has lost his second stock. So it is
Talk about slippery, though. We have Blaze, who has avoided death I don't know how many times in the second stock, even having to recover using a gravity cancel down sig with the anchor to touch the bottom corner of the right side of the map. And he is like in the deepest depths of the red that you could possibly be, 10,000 leagues into the red, and you can see as soon as it finally breaks that straw house, just not enough to hold him together, but he was able to just stay alive for as long as physically possible, still finding KOs in the mix at the same time. And Blaze has just been going off in a heated glory this entire time.
Yeah, indeed, and relatively undamaged. However, Zapapi bringing it back, not quite able to get the GC side sig this time around. Once it worked, but it will not do so again. They get straight back on, though. He's certainly trying to play the unarmed, taking out the Scarlet. Looking good for him here. Blaze in the orange as well. Going to take the weapon toss straight to the face. The down sig not quite landing. Oh, he's going to get the downlight into the recovery. More and more damage being done. It's now the weapon advantage. I was going to say for Zapapi, but he tries to kind of bait it out. It's actually now Blaze with that weapon control and bringing things back into contention, denying him any chance of the weapons and doing a great deal of damage right now.
And this is where things come together. This is the 1v1 situation where whoever comes out on top, this is where it is going to end. I mean, this is Zapapi trying to just shut down the rest of this set. They only need one more win to take it on to the next round. And Blaze right now just fighting for his life in this tournament. Trying to keep that winner's bracket run going, and there it is. One more game is going to go down between these two teams now, going into a game 5, but a fantastic showing from Blaze on the Sidra pick. Just an exceptional second stock and finish to clutch that match out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Sentinel, still working out relatively well. Azoth, though, definitely being this difference maker for the blue team, but not quite enough. Like we've said, that cannon is just so very beefy at the moment, and Sidra, I feel, kind of one of the better cannon legends for sure, at least in the 2v2 situations. The sword gives her a lot of versatility, and just a great kit as well, a great bunch of SIGs that she's got available, where kind of, maybe Zul, I think his SIGs are a little bit harder to work into a 2 versus 2 situation. Definitely more punishable. But either way, straight back into things. Same map as it has been the entire way through, I'm fairly certain. So, certainly interesting from these two teams. Definitely just wanting to take the fight to each other very quickly indeed. And all to play for, as this is the final map, the match point for both teams, I suppose. Could go either way. I mean, Aerial and Zapapi starting off so very well, but Blaze and DM Vinga trying to get the reverse sweep in. At the moment, not looking good for them, though, as they've taken a great deal of damage early on.
Well, this is now Blaze with the cannon. We saw what he could do in the last couple of games. Maybe this will be the catalyst for them to at least take one of the stocks off of these blue team players. DM Vinga all by himself, though, in the mix, letting Aerial just run a train on him right now. And now finally getting that hammer, he might be able to turn things around. But Aerial really doing a fantastic job holding those guitars and dealing as much damage to DM Vinga as possible. Now, the straight up recovery onto his teammate. Unfortunate, but it happens. And there's the down sig from DM Vinga to try to throw Aerials out of the map. And there's Zapapi coming in with a recovery, finding that KO onto Blaze.
To try and find those early stocks off the blue team. We will manage to get one. Aerial still alive for now. Again, that relatively tanky Sentinel playing a part. The ground pound coming in there. Something a little bit different straight off the edge, but unfortunately he's not able to find the kill onto DM Vinka as he's looking to make his way back up. It will cost Aerial his life. DM Vinka is so very low. Seems to be, that player that they want to take out. So leave Blaze, as he seems to be, really on fire at the moment, firing with all cylinders. Leave him on his own, trying not to give him anything, because as you can see, Aerial is just being kept at bay right now. DM Vinka looking to survive a little while longer, takes the recovery, but not going to go down from it. Cancels the recovery of Aerial as well with the weapon toss, remaining alive for a little while longer. A bit messy, as he will get blasted off to the side, but again, surviving as the blue team go into the red. Blaze still on the orange. It is not the best of strategies right now, trying to focus out this Scarlet, and she is not going down. Will eventually get taken out, though, as, of course, Sentinel on that hammer, the downlight into the side air. Bit of team damage. That's going to leave Zapapi in a scary spot right now. Blaze is into the red, but he's very early in the red, whereas the blue boys, they are very deep into the red. So that difference really could turn the tide. Zapapi has nothing left, will get taken out. Oh, and the side air. See you later, Ariel. It's the stock advantage now coming in for the red side.
It only makes sense that Ariel goes aerially out of the map, and now following in suit, Blaze trying to push Zapapi in the same direction. DM Vinke, though, on the right side, on the left side with that lance, trying to make something work here. He's been on the back foot for most of the game, with Blaze really taking the lead. Oh, but that second stock is going to be going out way out the sky, and Blaze is going to be forced into his last stock. It's barely even. It's barely even between both of these teams right now. DM Vinke now with the lance, trying to get as much working as possible against Zapapi and Ariel, but those weapon combinations that they have going on right now in the 1v1 situations that they've been forcing have been exceptionally successful for both of them.
Ooh, Zapapi going to take down DM Vinke, though. That's what they've been looking for all game, trying to isolate Blaze now in the 2 versus 1. Weapon tosses coming in. Oh, the side sig not quite able to get it. Zapapi, he comes in with the taunt. You got to win, my friend, before you're hitting the taunts, and Blaze now surely going to be spurred after that one. Unfortunately, no weapon as yet, and as soon as he goes in for it, he's going to get recovery. It's Ariel and Zapapi moving forwards then. As again, an extremely close series coming in between those two teams.
And they will be, like you said, they will be moving forward, and they'll be facing off against Blue and Simple in the winners finals. Zapapi and Ariel will be, and then DM Vinke and Blaze will be dropping down to the lower bracket to face off against Fizz and Machete. So that will be a very interesting game indeed. But we're going to be moving down to the bottom side of the bracket. I think we're going to go with Acno and Hyson versus Viper and Agzo. So listen very carefully to find out who we're going to be talking about, because we have two people who have very similar names coming up.
Yeah, going to be maybe a little bit awkward on that front, but I think interesting to see, you know, whether this Thor keeps up from Agzo. Definitely going to be playing it again, but it's kind of all about whether it remains effective, you know, whether it stays as this super strong tank, stock tank kind of style that they're going for. Acno and Hyson, we saw them come out with the double axes, so I think two very similar style of teams where they're all about the big beefy hits. Viper and Acno seemingly at the moment just floating, seeing what they want to go for. Meanwhile, Hyson and Agzo are straight in. They know what they want to pick. They're dedicated to the Ragnir and the Thor, respectively.
For sure. And we're going to be seeing a little bit more of that here with Acno and Hyson versus Agzo and Viper. Of course, the Thor pick, a very heavy hitter, and especially with that hammer. He's got the power moves and the signature kit. Viper and Hyson, of course, on the Ragnir pick, have a very strong showing as well in the signature moves, especially in the edge guard game, especially holding onto those guitars specifically. They have the neutral sig and the down sig for the upper and lower catch on both of those edge guards when people are trying to get back to stage. So both teams kind of have that advantage. And Acno on the Bryn, of course, very versatile pick. With the spear, gives him a little bit of range. And then, of course, Axe, we've talked about it before. We'll talk about it again. Very powerful 2v2 pick. Very strong with very versatile aerial attacks. Not the player, but the air attacks specifically. But here we go. Anyway, we got Agzo and Viper versus Acno and Hyson. So listen close and let's get it going.
Yeah, a lot of early damage coming in here, actually, onto the red team, I'd say, overall. But Hyson not having the best of times, straight into the red in the first kind of 30 seconds. Certainly interesting for sure. Again, I think it's something maybe a lot of players still getting used to this orb at the moment. Agzo straight on it and just looking to use it at the moment. Heavy hitting, very fast strings that you can pull off. So, you know, maybe not like the axe where it's 1 or 2 hits here or there. Oh my goodness, Agzo trying to save Viper, unfortunately, was kind of like, listen, I think you're done. I'm not going to get there fast enough. Sorry about that. So it will be the first kill going the way of the blue team, but certainly could go either way. These Sigs, of course, Agzo trying to catch someone off guard with that neutral so very fast. Up the top, it's the recovery, though, but Hyson, he's going to be able to survive a little while longer, and Acno catches Agzo on the way back down. Eventually, Hyson goes out, but stock advantage again for the blue team, just seemingly one step ahead.
Agzo with the hammer this time around, and Viper and Agzo, you can tell they're trying to position on the outsides of the blue team, and the blue team is not having it, not allowing Agzo and Viper to potentially get any sort of black hole or team combo situation that would completely devastate their health pools. Akno being thrown off on the left side, weapon throw from Agzo. Agzo trying to hold that corner against Akno. Akno really trying to get that damage back in across in the mirror match up against the match of the close fitting names. Hyson fighting back against Agzo, looking for a little bit of a vengeance kill due to Akno's just complete KO off the top. And this is Akno turning things around with the spear. Oh, another KO off the side onto Viper from Hyson. And this is just going to keep getting crazier and crazier as things go in.
A little bit of damage being traded back, no kills. Really going the way. It's going to be difficult at this point in time, I think. Oh, Thor, though, of course, Agzo going to be finding that kill onto Hyson. Again, evening up the stocks. It's just Akno looking so very good. Look at Agzo, though. He is deep into that red right now and actually manages to take down Akno. Will survive a little while longer. The recovery finds him. It should have found him a hell of a lot earlier, but he survives longer than maybe he had any right at surviving. The HP's pretty much even across the board right now. The next few seconds may be likely to decide this one, but a team damage coming in onto the neutral. It's Viper now moving into the red. Not really ideal. The neutral airs trying to land them. Agzo only gets one on both players, in all fairness, but all the same, not really finding that huge damage that they are looking for. This is going to be on Agzo. Akno with a great little catch. The dodge baits. Of course, the dodge reads from him. Weapon toss comes in from both players. Oh my goodness, toss. Viper. See you later, and Agzo now left in the 2-on-1.
Now Agzo, the Thunder God, Thor, trying to complete this 2v1, and the situation is not lost just yet. Although that hammer is the loss of that hammer, Mjolnir, is going to cost them quite a little bit. Hyson with the side air, the weapon throw not quite going to connect. The weapon throw from Hyson connecting onto his teammate, but it's not going to matter. As soon as Agzo tried to get back on the stage, that uppercut was waiting for him, and there we are, Akno and Hyson taking game number 1.
Well. Very close indeed, though, again, coming all the way down to the wire in these 2 versus 2s. Of course, it is the top 8. It's definitely what we expect, but yeah, that double axe once again seems to be so very beefy. I think the Bryn pick especially is so good because you have kind of that in-your-face style of the axe, and then suddenly it swaps across to a very passive, very floaty kind of, using the range of the spear, keeping away from your opponent at that point in time, and ultimately it works out perfectly. And the point in defense on the Bryn as well, so kind of tanky and so hard hitting.
A point of defense on everyone except for Hyson, it looks like. I mean, having extra survival is never something to discount. And Akno right now getting things started off with the spear, getting a little bit of damage onto Viper. Agzo on the other side of things, getting a little bit more damage onto Hyson and just trying to get the trades back and forth. Viper having taken a lot of damage at this point, not quite able to find a foothold so far in the match.
Hyson on the ground pound, not quite able to land it. Viper kind of helping out a little bit inadvertently, though, as they all go off the edge there to try and find some more damage. Team damage coming in on both sides. It's a slightly scrappy, slightly messy start here. Sig over the top of the Sig of Hyson there from Agzo. Akno going to get taken down on the other side of things. I think getting caught off a little bit. The down light into the side air coming through. The dodge of the weapon toss, though, will mean that Hyson survives a little while longer here. The next few seconds, again, all these red HP bars really going to make the difference. Hyson playing it very passively indeed. Weapon toss comes in, and he gets hit by Akno, though, and that kind of slows him down. Makes him apprehensive to go off the edge, trying to land these side airs. It's the recovery, in fact, and the weapon toss to follow up that takes down Viper. Agzo still, again, with this super, super high defense that he's running on the Thor at the moment. Really looking to survive and gets the recovery. That's what he was looking for. Hyson, he knew it. Surely he did. Akno going to make it back on briefly. Will get the full touch and get the full recovery of his resources, but going to be difficult.
Anybody else in that would have been a KO on Agzo. That recovery, having done 25 or 75% of a total hit, I can't believe Agzo survived that in the first place. But Hyson and Agno now evened up with Agzo and Viper. Although Agno deep in the red, he's approaching that kill point real soon. That red zone, very dangerous place to be in. Hyson and Agno, though, both with the axes, and we have 4 players all holding heavy weapons at this point. Agzo very patient, looking for that recovery situation on the bottom to find Agno off on the floor of the map, the blast zone at the bottom, however you want to call it. It's just finding everything left and right. Agno taking the fall as well in the meantime, and it's just hectic chaos as any good 2v2 match ever is.
Indeed, splitting into the 1 versus 1s at the moment. The neutral sig going to catch, but Viper fairly chunky on the HP. Oh my goodness, Agno though is making quick work of both players here. Doing so much damage on this Bryn. Really coming alive in this second game for sure. Viper, dodges both the weapon tossers. I mean, maybe if they'd have split those up, they could have, burnt the dodge and taken him out. But unfortunately, both going at the same time. Trying to take him out before Agzo returned. It's still Hyson on this second stock, however, and the fact that Agno being on this 1 stock for so very long, but taking very little damage, he is looking so good right now, and down Viper will go. Agzo now in the yellow, almost taking his teammate out there. Agzo, I suppose, yes, the store is tanky, but going to be difficult for him. On the hammer, it's not a bad weapon to be dealing with this 2 versus 1 situation, but it's maybe a little bit too slow. Some of the attacks that he goes in for, there's a hell of a lot of recovery time on them.
Oh,
and Hyson
no.
with the clean weapon toss into the down air will take him out. Hyson and Agno looking so good right now.
Especially with that double axe setup. I mean, everything that they are bringing to the table with that double axe setup is just hard hits and a lot of movement disruptions. They're able to throw both Agzo and Viper all across the map at any point in time. And I think that's what Agzo and Viper are trying to do with their setup with the hammer and the axe, but bringing something a little bit different in terms of Thor's hammer. But still, everything in consideration, Agno and Hyson have just been doing a fantastic job at controlling the battlefield against Agzo and Viper. And we are going to see a little bit of a legend swap from Agzo and switching over to the Bodvar, holding onto the hammer but swapping to a sword. It's going to be a very interesting swap, and we'll see how it works here in game number 3. 2-0 in the set. Agno and Hyson are up and looking to finish this out.
Indeed, loving the small Brawl Haven here once again. Maybe we could be seeing another match where it's not small, but it's Mammoth Fortress. Beg your pardon. But yeah, all the same, we've seen it a great deal. I believe now we're looking at 7 maps in a row. Can we keep the trend going, boys? That's the real question, of course. A hell of a lot of damage once again coming in early from that blue team. Agno trying to catch off guard, a little bit of a down sig coming through. Got to be careful with that one. Fairly slow recovery. The weapon toss not quite going to land onto Viper. Great dodge from him coming in, but Hyson will get him when he's got absolutely nothing. Doesn't really matter as he gets sent straight out. Agzo, meanwhile, off the side. This Bodvar not really doing a great deal of difference, and Viper trying to send him out. Someone's paid him off. He will eventually get taken out. It's a heavy stock lead coming in for the blue team. Viper is well in between 2 players right now, trying his best to stay alive. Agno got to be careful for sure. He was way down deep there. Does manage to get back on and remain alive. Viper, however, considering he was in a 2 versus 1 off stage for quite a while, doesn't take as much damage as maybe you would expect.
Even so, being in positions below the map can be very devastating, and that's going to be 2 kills going down, 1 for the blue, 1 for the red, and that is Agzo now trying to find a finisher to at least take a little bit of a lead, and that is going to be it right there onto Viper. Or not onto Viper, onto Hyson, excuse me, as they both get the respawn and get back into the mix. Viper trying to find another KO, the slap into the neutral sig, and that is going to do it for that stock. A very, very, very quick kill onto Agno, a very early gimp kill, and going again for it. Agzo going insane on the bottom end, and he just barely makes it back. But oh my gosh, that series of events was unfolding in such a bad way for Agno and Hyson.
Yeah, Agno able to keep his teammate alive. In all honesty, on that one, it was looking dire. But in comes Agno on that spear, probably one of the better weapons to kind of, you know, save your teammate. That recovery covers such a wide area of effect. So keeping the stocks even just for now, but I mean, the red team definitely looking revitalized after that little play, of course. Akno making his way back on. Agzo pretty damn low. Do need to be careful. Down goes Hyson, though. It's now the stock lead for the red team, albeit maybe briefly if Akno can find something here, but he himself is very, very low on this final stock, so needs to be careful. Looking not to play things too risky, just getting the odd hit here or there. The aerials from Akno have been so very good. He knows it as well, just immediately moving across to the other side. Weapon toss going to come in, but Agzo still managing to survive a little while longer. Hyson, going to get tagged up a little bit. As you can see, Akno, he's got no weapon. He's waiting for the spawn. Nice little find by Hyson. They need to take out Viper as quickly as they possibly can before his teammate comes in to try and save him. They know it as well. The recovery narrowly misses. It is looking so very close right now. Down goes Akno. Down goes
Agzo.
Hyson. Oh,
with the double.
no.
Oh, and he can't make it around the corner. And that is going to be real unfortunate. But that is going to lead into a game number 3 win for Viper and Agzo. And they are going to be staying alive against Hyson and Akno right now. 2 games to 1, down 1 game. They're going to have to win another one to force a game 5 in order to potentially survive on to the semifinals. And we're going to be going back to Mammoth Fortress. And we'll see how they take it down. Agzo and Viper versus Hyson and Akno. Game number 4. Let's see that hype in the chat. Show me who you want to win.
All right, here we go, boys, into the action then. Hyson has yet to take any damage. Playing it safe. As soon as I speak, though, of course, takes a bit of a hit, but still taking very, very little damage here. Nice little catch onto Viper. 2 styles of Ragnar, the axe and the katars, meeting each other pretty damn quickly. A Sig comes through from Akno, not going to land, and Agzo is able to capitalize briefly. He's taking a hell of a lot of damage early on, though. Needs to be very, very careful indeed, especially against those katars, just ultimately looking to avoid him. Neutral comes through, down Sig not going to land, but the down air will. Akno, however, is able to survive, and he might just take down Viper with him. Oh my goodness. Who's going to expect the ground pound in that situation? He's actually able to survive a little while longer as well, as Agzo trying his best to take him out, but not going to happen. It's a pretty solid stock advantage right now for the blue team, but the Reds trying to make things even. I don't think Hyson makes it back here. He does not. So very little damage taken as they move into their second stocks from the Reds. Really goodly, really well recovered back from them.
And right now, Agzo and Viper just trying to split off into the 1v1s again. It worked out pretty well in getting the stocks all evened up. Hyson now with the guitars, though, he's trying to find that guitar loop and does find a little bit of a half pipe in that respect. Hyson going really deep, overextending and allowing Agzo to kind of collapse over towards Akno's side with Viper to give him a little bit of an assist. But now both players are just trying to survive and take as little damage as possible, because that stock extension can be real important, but also finding those really big hits, forcing edge guard situations onto your opponents can be as well, just like this situation right now. Hyson and Akno having Agzo and Viper off stage, and the recovery read onto Agzo is going to force him onto his last stock in a very dangerous, precarious position indeed.
The recovery's coming in on the axes here, hitting relatively quickly. Viper, though, with the double down air catch. He gets caught by a taste of his own medicine there, but still keeping things certainly even is just Hyson and Akno. Again, that one step ahead, Hyson especially, as he has just gone into the red on his second stock. Meanwhile, Agzo is very close to being there himself. Of course, everything on the line right now. If this one is taken, it will be that blue team moving forwards if they're able to get it. Question is, will they be able to do so? Hyson, he recognizes the position that he's in, trying to hold on for this to this second stock for as long as possible, but the side air going to take him out. However, look at Agzo, especially in that red, going relatively deep into it as well. Hyson making sure of that. 2 neutral airs going to land. The hammer looking relatively good from Agzo, definitely where he's comfortable, but a bit of a team combo as he's completely caught off guard. It's now Viper, who he himself into the red, who has to keep his team in this from dropping down into that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was going to say into that abyss of loss. And just like that, down goes Viper. The Blues come out on top 3-1.
A big win. I think that's the first 4-game set that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Because it's either been 3 and out or straight to a game 5. Either way, we have Heisen and Akno moving on to the semifinals. And unfortunately, Viper and Agzo are gone. Eliminado finished. So that is going to be that. Moving on to the next semifinals game, we have DMVK and Blaze versus Fizz and Machete. They're so excited. They're just trying to get right into it. Even though I think the rest of the staff isn't quite ready yet. But either way, if they start, they start, and we just kind of go with it. But, oh, okay, it looks like they did back out of it at the last second. But either way, this is, again, going to be Fizz and Machete going with the, if I remember correctly, because I actually can't see the Legend Select right now. It's just the beautiful Adventure Time background with the Ice Mountains and the Candy Kingdom and everything. That's all I see, but I'm assuming that they're going with the same setup that they did before, which is Fizz and Machete on the double Fate, the double Enchantress, which is the Orb and the Scythe combination. It worked out pretty well last time against Pavelski and the Ninja, having a lot of that aerial control in the Scythe kit, and as well as a lot of KO potential with the Orb in the side airs especially. I think we'll see a lot of success in that realm of attack. However, on the other side, DMVK and Blaze, of course, we did see them against Zapapi and Ariel. And what are your thoughts on that?
I think they kind of look good. It was DMVK for me on the Scarlet that was a little lackluster in places. You know, a hell of a lot of damage surely, you know, comes through from her, but so slow, so very slow, so easy to punish, and it seems like DMVK maybe not quite as comfortable on the Scarlet as he would like. But Blaze looking really good. You know, we saw some really nice stuff from him, but a lot of the time, you know, he was left in that kind of difficult 2 versus 1 situation. If DMVK, you know, if he doesn't start off well, I think he ends up becoming a bit of a detriment for the 2-man squad, of course.
Well, moving into game number 1 here in the set with Machete and Fizz versus DMVK and Blaze. Getting started right now, the double Enchantress versus the Bryn and Scarlet on the red team is going underway right now, and Machete trying to survive on the left wall against DMVK. Fizz getting knocked across, and now the 1v1 swap is going to lead into the KO from Fizz onto DMVK, and that's going to be forcing away that Lance for at least the time being. Machete finding the kill on the right side, that onto Blaze, forcing the double stock lead for the blue team, although they are in the red. That is the red zone, the kill potential area, and they got to be careful because that can turn around at a moment's notice, just like how Blaze did right there.
Well. It is very quickly falling apart, it would appear, for the red team, as this double Fate pick once again is looking really, really good from the Blues. Especially, you know, I suppose the double Enchantress pick, we should say, you know, give it the full title. But of course, I don't know, I think the Scythe, the Orb, so very difficult to deal with. Fizz was so clean. Again, the side Sigs coming in, he uses them at the perfect time, gets caught off by a Sig from DMVK, the first knockout coming in for him, but still Fizz just going into the second stock. DMVK is on the orange of his last stock. Meanwhile, Blaze is red, doing a great deal of damage to Machete, of course, though, looking to try and take him out. Certainly easier said than done. Blaze going for a bit of a risky ground pound, is able to survive for a little while longer, but the down air coming in, that spike, of course, so very difficult. Side air lands, the weapon toss as well, right at the end. It dipped so very deep, and DMVK are going to be out. It's a 2 versus 1, with Blaze having to get through 4 stocks.
And it's going to be a very tough situation for him indeed. Already Fizz and Machete with the team combos coming in, trying to set up those black holes. They already got a little bit of one earlier, trying to reenact, you know, Interstellar as when Matthew McConaughey goes straight into the black hole. They're trying to make a Blaze Matthew McConaughey in this situation, but it looks like he's just going to try to avoid that at all costs. He's not going to try to save the human race this time around, and instead it's going to be Finn finishing him off. And that is going to do it. The last stock gone off of Blaze as the blue team takes game 1.
Yeah. I think taking it is kind of an understatement. They demolished that one, to be honest. The damage, the discrepancy is pretty huge. And again, DMVK on that Scarlet went down to 1 stock way before anybody else. Don't mean to be pointing fingers, but It is looking a bit tough. Gonna stick with it though. You know, you got to respect it. Definitely not feeling like it's the pick. He feels more it's maybe himself. Needs to step things up somewhat. But we'll see. No changes to the legends coming in. On once again to the Mammoth Fortress. EU loving the Mammoth Fortress, it appears. I think a lot of people in general just love this for 2v2s.
It's a very even map. You know, it's very plain, very unassuming. It's only got one platform that moves across and can shake a little bit up, but it doesn't make anything too serious in terms of the dynamic situations of the map. But either way, you see the platform moving across, and Blaze and DMV are going to be taking advantage of that positioning as they can just set up in the middle of the map and force Machete and Fizz into some slightly awkward situations, perhaps.
Definitely splitting up into the 1 versus 1s once again, though. It's something we don't generally advise. Blaze, oh my goodness. Coming in with a neutral sig, and he's like, listen, bro, move out the way. And he goes straight down with that pivoted down air. As DMV could maybe thinking, you know, I'm going to edge guard this one. Blaze is like, no, I'm going to take him out. Pretty quick stuff coming in, and the red team looking revitalized after that one. They are both into the red. A hell of a lot of damage being done onto Machete early on, especially. And Blaze, you know, he is very much the star of this duo, stepping things up and doing a great deal of damage onto Fizz as well. This is looking good. The HP advantage as well as the stock advantage heavily in favor of the red team. They might just be able to squeeze this one out. The weapon toss coming in. Fizz not able to survive. So it will be down to 1 stock for him. Meanwhile, the red team, both of them still on 3 stocks. Did not speak too soon as Blaze going to manage to survive once again. Oh my goodness, dodges the ground pound, and it's Machete going to take it from Fizz. He will manage to survive, but that ultimately cost him his life. Oh my goodness, Blaze is on fire.
I mean, as his name would suggest, I would hope he'd be on fire, because otherwise, unlike what the Hulk likes is a big smoldering blaze, you just have a little kind of teeny little embery fire instead. And his name is Blaze, he's got to show it in style. So bringing it out right here, Blaze with the axe, DMVK with the lance, really showing their stuff, putting the force onto Machete and Fizz, and making it a very difficult game to come back from, trying to put as much pressure as they can in the field. Already Blaze taking a little bit of retaliatory damage though. Machete with the scythe plays, trying to get those stocks gone off the red team and having a little bit of a trouble doing it. Fizz finally landing that neutral air, being able to chase dodge right back up the stage, but Blaze finding that KO off on the right side, and now coming all the way over to the left side to find that KO onto Machete as well, taking the separate double and the W as well for game number 2. And that, I believe, will take the set to 1-on-1.
Yeah, I mean, what a juxtaposition from that first game where it was so very dominant for the Blues, for the double fate. And then Blaze and DMVink are able to pull it back. Crazy, crazy stuff ultimately coming in from them. So I guess we will see here whether the trend continues. Going to see a map change coming in. Miami Dome, Ramen, of course, the groovy tunes. We'll see, though. Is that going to be the difference that the blue team need to get back into the driver's seat, so to speak? Both picking up a weapon, both on the orb, in fact, and both dealing a great deal of damage early on. DMVinker and Blaze especially really picking it up on that second map.
All those recoveries from the orbs, I mean, you can just hear it coming off. Just the whirly ball sounds coming right out. DMVK and Blaze, though, trying to make a little bit of work happen here. Trying to get a little bit more damage on a Machete. He's already kind of approaching that red zone. And DMVK playing the Lance, especially on a map like Miami Dome, is going to lead to a lot of really early kills, especially if people aren't paying attention. Even if it's his teammate Blaze. Oh, no! Machete finding the KO onto his teammate Blaze. That is really unfortunate. I hate to see it happen, but at least he was able to find a KO to make up for it on the back end. Still, that's a 2-to-1 trade-off for the blue team, and that isn't quite going to be as beneficial as they want. But just staying as close to that even point as possible is all that they can really ask for it right now.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a real messy one, to be honest. A lot of team damage coming in across the board, just weapons flying all over the places. The orb recoveries, again, hearing them coming, the SIG hitting there, it's so very awkward. The Blues looking very desperate at the moment. Fizz especially is really trying to get in here. It's not quite as successful for him as it was in the previous series, as it was in the previous map. Almost taking his teammate out there. I mean, if that had hit cleanly, you know, he was just following through on autopilot. Nice weapon toss coming in. DM has still got the recovery. Oh, and the chase dodge coming through. Fizz tried to cheese him away. Of course, you can get hit down by that, but a nice little haymaker to take him out. DM Vinker going to be down to the one stock now. Everybody's in the red. It could definitely be evened up quickly, and he will look to do so, as will Blaze. Machete not really got anything available, and Blaze takes him out, just waiting patiently for him to burn everything. It is going to be that stock lead for the red team.
And already DMV looking for that signature. He's going to land that neutral stake onto Machete on the left side. And Fizz trying to come over for the assist, but he's going to get punished for it. But finds Blaze in the weapon throw in the process. Not going to lead into a KO quite just yet, even though he's in that red zone, in that danger zone, where he could be KO'd at any potential possibility moment. Blaze, though, looking for that KO from the top, that opportunistic hit, but he could not find Machete up in the monocle. And this time around, Fizz is going to find the KO onto Blaze with the down air off stage. And DMVK trying to find his way back a little bit to get a little bit more of that map control that Lance is so strong with. But Machete at the same time and Fizz both holding onto those orbs. They're trying to collapse and get onto one of these players, one of these red team players, and get as much damage off and force him into an edge guard situation as soon as possible.
Oh man, it is all to play for. It could go either way. They're all so very low. The neutral stick comes in, hits a blue player, a red player. DM Vinker doesn't seem to care, gets taken out by the recovery of Machete, though. Now the 2 versus 1, everybody in red. I mean, you'd assume the 2 versus 1 goes the way of the blue team, but maybe not the case. Those side airs from the axe, he can just kind of swing in and find one, and it could take either of these players out at this point. Going to land a side air. The dive kick coming in narrowly misses the weapon toss. I'm not sure he's going to survive this situation, though. Oh my goodness, Fizz goes deep for it. He will actually manage to survive a little while longer. Again, the move's not coming in, but it will indeed eventually be the Blues taking that one. But my goodness, how very close.
I mean, that's exactly what happens whenever you pick a stage like Miami Dome. It's very small. It's got some platforms for a little additional movement there. But at the very least, everyone is so close together that you're just going to be throwing attacks out left and right. There is no ever situation. There's never a situation for players to just split off and focus on 1v1. So if you're a team that does not do very well in the 1v1s and you really, really need to find a situation where you can just create chaos at a moment's notice, that map is perfect for it, and we saw it work out fantastically for Fizz and Machete.
Yeah, pretty damn good stuff coming in early on. A lot of early damage here as well. Into this one, nice little response from DM Vinker, making a bit of a team combo ultimately. Narrowly missing out on the neutral sig though, and nice moves from Fizz. Didn't land. Would have looked fancy if it did though. The chase dodge into the back down air grab would have been pretty spicy indeed, but unfortunately not going to land. Again though, splitting into these 1 versus 1s, just looking to find the fights. Fizz will catch DM Vinker off guard, and Machete, he capitalizes. Gets him with that side sig, and it's going to be the early stock lead coming in for the blue team as they look to take out Blaze. DM Vinker will very quickly even things back up. Machete and Blaze on pretty much the same HP right now, and Machete looking to survive here or there. The side sig comes through, doesn't quite land. The down sig will be punished. Not quite as low on the recovery frames as it used to be, of course, since those nerfs coming in. Fizz a little bit trapped down at the bottom end of the stage here. Will manage to survive, though, is very little damage taken, but it is Blaze. Again, that third stock still available to him, and the stock advantage for the red team making the difference.
Yeah, that first stock, that stock extension is exactly what you want in these 2v2 games, where you want to try to last as long as possible without losing that stock, because you can really carry that farther and farther, being that stock tank. But it looks like the double kill, the double team kill onto the red team, and that is going to force the red team a little bit low now. Against the blue team. They have to take out a little bit more damage, take a loan out on those attacks, and just cash in later on when they can really find those KOs. But because Fizz and Machete are really putting a lot of force into this, and if they win this game, then they move on to the semifinals, because they are 2 games up right now.
Indeed, looking good for them. Oh my goodness, but the Reds certainly coming back in, trying to make life difficult. It is definitely working out. The Enigma seems to be a bit of a better pick. I suppose the
multiple platforms that axe especially can utilize. Pretty good stuff. Nice little hits coming through. Fizz is left very low indeed into the final stock. Need to, at the very least, take out DM Vinker to make things, a bit more doable for Machete. Blaze will manage to survive DM Vinker. He goes down. It's now Blaze in a 2 versus 1. Does have the stock lead. Oh my goodness. Pops his head, though. Pops his head. And Fizz comes in, capitalizes perfectly. Now it's into the 2 versus 1 where they're all even on the stocks. Going to be much harder for Blaze.
And that situation was exactly where Blaze wanted to be. He had those 2 stocks to the 1-1 on Machete and Fizz. He had the stocks technically even, so to speak. But either way, he still has an opportunity to bring this back and force a game 5. He's got to be very careful, though. Both Machete and Fizz are fantastic players, and they've got the weapon of choice out right now, Scythe and Orb. And we might see a little bit of extraneous movement coming out from Fizz on the back end as a support, try to catch Blaze as soon as he tries to move for a safer position. And I think that's what we're seeing him do right now. Machete trying to come in for the finishers, put the pressure off stage. The weapon throw giving Blaze a little bit of time to just breathe for a second. But Fizz is going to find it that left side. The Scythe recovery pickup and drop off at the pool. And the pool is, of course, off stage, putting out the Blaze that is Blaze. And that is going to do it. 3-1 in the set. That is going to be DM Vinka and Blaze dropping out of the tournament, and Fizz and Machete going on to face off against Acno and Hyson in the semifinals.
Indeed, that one's certainly going to be interesting. I'm pretty excited to see where that goes for sure. But obviously, again, a real close one that some little things go the way of the red team. It could really have been a different kind of situation. I think, ultimately for me, it's kind of DM Vinka not quite showing up in the same way as his teammate. Again, not to point those fingers. It can be a little bit rough. It can be a little bit harsh, but sometimes that's just kind of how we have to be. Blaze was, again, to pardon the pun, on fire, but Fizz and Machete, the better team overall.
I mean, he was just burning hot with a hunk of burning orb, or not. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess orb on the other team, but Blaze, of course, with the axe, with the heavy hitting attacks. That was what he was all about there, and he brought it to the table, and he had a great showing. But in the end, it wasn't quite enough. The team synergy between Fizz and Machete, of course, being fantastic there, fizzling out that Blaze, putting out the fire, licking the fingers, and then just pinching it and tossing it aside. That candle is done. Now we're moving on to Acno and Hyson, says Fizz and Machete. It's semifinals time. We're moving into the losers finals. Of course, we'll find out if that's true or not, but that's what we're getting started right now. Game number 1, Fizz and Machete versus Acno and Hyson. Machete already looking to get a lot of pressure off stage onto this blue team, and the Acno now finally finding a foothold on stage is going to be able to turn things around just a little bit, throwing out some of these axe moves, a lot of this high pressure stuff. And Machete and Fizz taking a fall. Is actually going to get over to the other side fast enough to find the double? No, and it is going to be Machete taking the first fall about 30 seconds into the game, and that is the danger of 2v2 off stage.
Yeah, especially against those axes, man. That down air can really throw you for a loop. I think it's something that, this particular setup the Machete and Fizz are going for can be not as good. When you've got the orbs out, that off stage is not so great. I mean, sure, the spike of the down air, but there's not a hell of a lot more available to you. And unfortunately, it would appear the blue team are kind of coming out on top of things, but it's very even footing at the moment. Sure, Fizz has got that third stock still available. Going to have to keep it up for as long as he possibly can. The difference is Machete, of course, in the red, so it could go either way at this point. Acno, though, is taking a hell of a lot of damage early on. Fizz still going to manage to survive, but the super fast weapon toss coming in. Acno is ready for the follow-up as well. It will now be back into even, and this is where Machete's kind of red HP really comes into play. He gets hit by the dancing, but actually manages to survive a little while longer. The weapon toss maybe just keeping him safe for now. It is hella messy, though, from both teams. Acno looking to try and find something, but unfortunately, nothing really coming. Machete, he manages to survive, and the down, the ground pounds coming in. The save, though, from Acno onto his teammate buys them a bit of breathing room.
See, I knew I wasn't the only one. I heard that down before the ground pound, the down pound. I saw that. I swear, I want to say it every time. Either way, Fizz looking for a little bit more pressure on the left side. Hyson going against that 1v1, but it's not going to be successful for him as he gets caught by the recovery. The neutral Sig coming out from Fizz, and now Machete going off stage looking for Acno. The recovery, though, into the down air is going to be pressuring Machete real hard. He's not able to find anything, and he looks like he's going to back off just a little bit. The Kirby's air ride coming in, though, and that is going to be the successful Sig onto Acno, sending him into space to wherever you play in Kirby's Air Ride. I'm only really familiar with the game, not the levels or anything like that. But either way, Machete now going off stage, and Acno finding another KO. It's KO after KO, kill after kill, just finding every single elimination that they can. And it is just going crazy. Pure chaos right now, and sometimes that's the way I like it, and that's the way they got it.
Yeah, indeed. Definitely summing this one up pretty well. It is pure chaos on this first map so far. Nice little catch coming in from Machete, looking to try and get the neutral airs in. It's actually the down air on Acno. Once again, the weapon toss, he slimly gets that through. The needle threaded in, and it will be Hyson now left in the 2 versus 1. Not looking good for him. Left in the red as well. Going to get the down air on the weapon toss coming through, but thankfully... Oh my goodness, Fizz with the turnaround is able to take him out, and it will be the red team coming out on top. The double Enchantress setup once again proves to be effective.
What a fantastic read from Fizz on the bottom corner of the map. Very interesting situation because not very many people actually go for those really hard, overextended ground pounds to look for those kills down the push-off column. I mean, especially in that situation, normally people tend to go for the down air to try to push people into the wall and go for a much safer angle. But that time around, he definitely dedicated for it, and Fizz was purely ready. That down air in the right place at the right time, and what a fantastic situation it was for him. Going into game number 2, Fizz and Machete up 1-0. We're going to see if Acno and Hyson have what it takes to bring it right back here and even up the set.
And those weapons early on, Acno is looking to deal a bit of damage over here. In comes Fizz, though, to try and save the day. Hyson has yet to take any damage at all. Looking pretty damn good on this Ragnar again, managing to get away unscathed. He is looking pretty beefy. His teammate, though, is the one who's straight into the red. Hyson finally takes some damage. So that could really be the difference maker. Going to take some damage on the Sig. That's not really ideal. Oh, my goodness. A great catch from Acno, though.
Oh, my
And Hyson
gosh.
is able to capitalize on Fizz being late back in. I think it was Machete, actually. But all the same, it's great stuff from the blue team to find themselves a stock lead. Still going to have it as Hyson is only just into the orange.
What a massive play from the blue team right there, but going right back into it. Of course, they found the follow-up kill, the vengeance onto Acno, getting revenge for that incredible gravity cancel umbrella of death coming right out off on that left side. But either way, now it's just slowing down a little bit. Everyone trying to be just a little bit more careful, looking for the entryways, the neutral game coming out from both of these teams. And this is where it can get kind of difficult because you have to find some of those bigger hits, especially when you're using weapons like this. And there he goes, Hyson with the side air off stage, and that's going to be another KO, pushing Fizz into his final stock, which will make a very difficult situation, especially for Machete to come back from. Oh no, Fizz are just barely recovering with that final recovery that he had, the final recovery option as well. And this is going to be even closer now as we have it 2-1 to 2-1 on both sides of the stock chart.
Slowly but surely looking to try and earn their way back in here. Machete not wanting to get off the edge with anybody. Acno catches him nicely, but he does manage to dodge most of the damage. Will get his hands back onto his side as well, but takes the side air. Going to be out of action for just a second. That leaves Fizz all by himself, and the spike, of course, over the edge of that side stick. Again, able to survive. They're both so very low. Fizz dies. Machete comes just before him, and a hefty stock lead right now for Hyson and Acno. It's going to be difficult for Machete to really find anything in this situation. Not looking good for him at all. It's the blue team. They answer back in kind. Maybe, just maybe. Oh my goodness, no! The
meat grinder! The meat grinding ladder taking Machete all the way up, and there it is, the umbrella of death. Gravity canceled by Hyson this time. Started off with Acno in the very beginning to find that first KO and finished off by Hyson. This to take the W home in game number 2. Of course, evening up the stocks. What a fantastic Axe compilation there for the blue team, and what a fantastic way to end game number 2. Insane team synergy going up and getting all of those neutral airs to just juggle up all the way up into the sky. And that's exactly what we like to see, is a little bit of controlled chaos. It might get crazy sometimes, but once one team finds that specific moment, that special time to go in with the coordinated strike, you can see how devastating it is.
Indeed. Either way, going to be moving now onto Enigma once again. A little bit of a difference in the map. It seems to be, Fizz and Machete do like playing on this one at the moment, as we'd seen the Mammoth Fortresses continually. Fizz and Machete switching things up somewhat, it would appear. Again, those platforms, they kind of like playing around them, I feel, at this point. Playing around each other mainly, sticking together. A lot of damage there onto Machete, though. Very lucky not to be taken out early on. Gonna have to be careful. He is returning some back onto Acto, though. Sending him flying, trying to get the ground pound in, but it's Acno with the return. I think Machete does just make it back here, but it's the question of whether he's able to survive what comes next. He is, because Fizz comes in, saves the day, but Machete gonna have to send him high. It's the down sig from Hyson, just off the ground, however, that will find that first kill.
Oh, Fizz went for the full-length Kirby air ride onto Acno, and Acno just avoided that at the last second. Fizz now looking for a little bit of scythe play with Machete trying to get back on the stage, but he's going to get punished now. Fizz going to be knocked off on the left side, finally losing his first stock, and Acno and Hyson still holding onto those very first stocks. Oh, going up with that meat grinder again, that meat ladder, and this is just even more Axe compilation for Acno and Hyson to put into their little highlight reels if they got one, and if they don't, they better start thinking about it soon, because I mean, they got the plays on lock with these axes right now.
Yeah, looking real good, to be honest. Definitely this switch up to the double axe has really made massive difference. Oh, Machete, he is being embarrassed off the edge. The double dive kick coming in from Hyson denied him the touch back, and he didn't quite realize until it was too late. Hyson still on 3 stocks. Fizz and Machete might just have found their match here at this point. Maybe we see something different from them as it gets into what could potentially be that final map for these boys. Nice little find coming in from Machete, to be fair. The shutdown finally comes through onto Hyson, but is that going to be enough? I'm not so sure, because they still have such a hefty stock lead coming into this. It's going to need these sides to find some kind of a gimp somewhere, anywhere, and Fizz is trying his best onto Hyson.
Fizz going off right now with the scythe, forcing Hyson. Can he make it back? Just barely makes it back, tries to charge that up, and Fizz, is he going to finally take this all the way across? And he does. What a huge 100-0 from Fizz, from the right, from coast to coast, right side to the left side onto Hyson. That is just an amazing play from him to take those stocks out, and almost gets Acno off on the left side again. And just huge plays coming out from Fizz to get a huge amount of damage onto this blue team.
Looking real good then, as they are pulling things back into their favor. Unfortunately, maybe too little too late. It's all going to be down to Fizz, all on his lonesome now in the 2 versus 1, and they have such a HP advantage. Oh, the neutral sig comes in as he tries to go for the pivot down air, and he will be punished for it. It's going to be the Blues coming out on top of that one, and on top, not quite yet, but, in the lead of the series, I suppose I should say, as they have switched this one on its head completely. The double axe setup really working out.
I mean, it has been carrying them so far all the way. I mean, it brought them to the winner's bracket side. It brought them very close to beating Blue and Simple in a Game 5 situation, but then dropped them down. They beat Viper and Agzo, and now Fizz and Machete, who have all been very, very successful throughout this whole tournament, and that double axe setup has just been incredibly gross to deal with. We've seen it carry them all the way through, and now they're going to be in on the losers finals. Now I think it looks like, are we going into the winners finals right now? I guess we are. They're banning out, so I guess we'll be going right into the winners finals. Unless,
of course.
am I lit right now? I am lit. It is game number 4 because it's 1-1, and then they got the second one, and that's the 2-1. So yeah, now this is the final one. I think I heard like a final game, and it was like an elimination somewhere in there. So I got thrown off a little bit, but we're back in it. We're back in it. Fizz, Machete, game number 4. You know how it is. Sometimes that stuff happens. Boom, let's go.
But yeah, I mean, to be fair to you, bro, like Sidra and Koji coming out for Fizz and Machete, two completely different legends.
2 different characters, right?
Completely different.
These are 2 different players. Who else has played Sidra? I believe we saw Sidra on
I want to say Blaze
earlier. And he's not in this anymore. So I'm just thinking of 2 different players. That's all it is. Either way, Hyson and Akno getting started. Mac, Machete. I don't know why I said Mac. I guess that's his 3-letter abbreviation that I'm seeing right now. Like Mac from Sunny in Philadelphia. Either way, Akno getting crazy on the top, putting all the damage on the Fizz onto that Koji pick. And then Machete with the sword trying to make his approach back on the stage. And it looks like Akno looking for the KO up from the top. It's not going to lead into a KO. Fizz just barely surviving, but he doesn't have much left behind him.
Yeah, it is looking a little tough right now, but there's players across the board that are low HP. Again, one good string, one landed successful Sig, as there it is, the neutral coming in, but Hyson actually survives. And Fizz is the one that gets taken down. That could really be the difference maker. Side Sig coming in, going to send both his teammate and Akno flying off the side. The down Sig, not going to kill. The blue team are surviving by the skin of their teeth. Eventually, one of them goes out, but Akno is still around. No, the neutral air will send him off the top into the heavens, and Machete quickly follows. It'll all be back to even. We might as well have just started the game again, because everybody's on 2 stocks and everybody's on white HP.
As far as I know, we just start the game off at 2 stocks each. That way the games go a little bit quicker. And this is just the very beginning of the game, and it starts at 6.5 minutes as well. Either way, Hyson and Akno coming back, placing a very dominating performance in the second stock situation. Fizz trying to make his way back onto the stage, and Machete definitely getting a lot of damage as well onto Hyson, but isn't going to be enough. He's already in the red, and this could be a very bad situation, especially having taken the weapon throw and the down lights coming out, the down airs. No saving grace, no saving throw, and Machete and Fizz are on their final stock. This is tournament stock as well, considering Akno and Hyson are 2-1 in the set. They have to be increasingly careful.
Yeah, man, this is not looking good, let's say. The swaps, work out early, but very, very quickly, Akno and Hyson able to get that download onto their opponents. We'll see, are they going to be able to take this one? Machete doing damage. He's trying to land, some of these cannon strings that can do a great deal of damage. Unfortunately, not really coming in. Akno a bit too bouncy for him. In comes the side Sig. He will manage to survive it just for now, but it's more and more damage being done while the blue team remains on the 2 stocks. Not really looking too good. Weapon toss comes across. It sends Akno off, but it allows him to get the reversal onto Fizz. He will eventually go down. However, I think it's going to be
that's going to be it. Hyson going real deep just to try to get a little additional finisher off onto Machete, but that is all she wrote. Like you said, Machete and Fizz are going to be dropping out. Hyson and Akno are going to be moving on to that losers finals, and we will be going on a short break, of course. Give you guys to get a chance to get up, stretch, and get a little snack of, and I might do this exact same thing because I am actually pretty hungry. Either way, Hyson and Akno will be moving on to the losers finals, and we will be seeing Blue and Simple versus Zapapi and Ariel when we come right back. In just a second. Anytime now. There we go.
Come on. Oh, no!
Yeah.
No! Again?
Yeah, that's what you get when you take on the Brawlhalla master.
These things are whack! 1v1 me, bro. For real!
Yeah. I'll toast your buns again, sure. Want to choose a different character?
Yeah! I choose me! Yeah! Woohoo! Brawl Jabraic!
Oh, my burrito. Whoa, it's those guys from the game.
What time is it?
Adventure time! Grab that bacon hammer.
All I do is win. Got him!
Go for it, PB.
Uh-huh, Princess Bubblegum gonna show you up. Homies help homies.
This place has everything. Ah, did somebody order a combo?
Yeah! Woo! Mathematical! 25 million players!
Dude, that's almost 25.5 million.
Oh, snap! Look out!
Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Brawlhalla? Brawlhalla?
No, man! Brawlhalla!
Oh. Hey, welcome to Brawlhalla.
This game is...
All right, and welcome back, everybody, to the Brawl at the Beach EU 2v2 top 3 teams left in the tournament. This is going to be the beginning of the end, of course, and it has been nothing but fantastic games all the way up into this point. And everyone, of course, speculating about our legend reveal.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, I don't know anything.
I think that's probably for the best. we'll just leave it at that.
I mean, of course. I know what
facts.
I'd like to see. I've been typing into the chat. I'd love to see an Indiana Jones like with a whip kind of thing. I think that'd be kind of cool. I don't think that's ever going to be a thing, but you know, maybe idea. They go Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, and his orb is the Crystal Skull. That would be so awesome.
Yeah, I don't know whether we want to remember that film though. You know what I mean? Like,
it is down sig as he jumps into a refrigerator and nukes everything. That's the only thing I've got.
Fair enough. You can only use it like once per game, and it like wipes out everyone who's in the game. It wipes out one stock from them. You know, I don't know.
Exactly.
We're really, clutching at the straws here. But yes, obviously going to be moving forwards back into the winner's side of things for this one. We've got Blue, we've got Simple, who had a bit of a test against Acto and Heisen, who again, you know, we are going to see them a bit later on. So maybe a bit of a rematch if Blue and Simple are able to take this one. We'll see. But then we've got kind of, I suppose, the surprise boys at this point. Ariel and Zapapi really impressing in their series against DM Vinca and Blaze for sure. Ariel on the Sentinel is nothing to shake a stick at. He was looking really, really good in that earlier series.
For sure. And both of these teams, everyone on both of these teams has just been playing phenomenally during this entire tournament. Blue and Simple have just been a dominating force throughout all of yesterday and today, and they have lost very few games, like minimal games throughout the whole thing. And the Koji already picked, of course, on Blue, a very solid pick as well. You have the bow, you have the sword. Both weapons are fantastic. The bow with the disjointed hitboxes and the sword with just the pure versatility. You can go off stage, you can go on stage. It's got kill options. It's not super good in any right, but the versatility and that jack of all trades aspect is something that makes it incredibly desirable. And of course, what do you think about the picks from the Blue side? Of course, the Zapapi, Azoth, and the Aerial Sentinel.
Yeah, well, already kind of, talked about that Sentinel really working out. He's a little bit tankier, and then kind of the rest of the stats, pretty even as well. He's not got anything that's like crazy high. Putting that point into Dex, the Aerial seems to be going for certainly does make the difference. Meanwhile, Zapapi, that Azoth is something where I think we both kind of said not seen very often, but maybe it should be. He has a really nice kit, a really nice bunch of SIGs going on that can really catch players off guard, that you sort of have to be used to, like, right, can't get too close to him on the axe because he's got down SIG, but then if you're too far away, he's got side SIG, and he's also got an anti-air, so it's like his axe especially can be very, very dangerous. But it looks like we are going to be getting straight into things here as everybody is set up and ready, and it is indeed going to be those picks that we were talking about coming through.
And very surprising thing, and they're going to ban out Mammoth Fortress, so they're going to force Thunderguard Stadium, Blackguard Keep, and it is going to go to Blackguard Keep in the end, a very wide map. So this should allow for some situations where some of these players may survive where they shouldn't, especially with some more harder hitting horizontal hits and high defense. So we'll see how this goes through and progresses. Either way, game's getting started right now. Top 3 winners finals between Ariel and Zapapi, and Simple and Blue. And Simple going real crazy on the right side, almost getting Zapapi in a gimp situation where they would have taken him out real early, but unfortunately for him, Zapapi is going to make it all the way back to the stage and reset. Woo! This is just getting even crazier. Ariel taking the fall on the right side, and that is going to be the first kill of the game, and a little bit of a black hole starting. Not quite a big one, but tiny little starter. Just a little bit of damage.
Yeah, still can be dangerous nonetheless. Oh my goodness, Simple. Okay, make my heart go a little bit there. I think he thought he maybe had another jump left, but he's able to survive at the very least. No one around to punish his little mistake. But yeah, I was just about to say, it'll be interesting to see whether we get the 1 versus 1 style that Simple and Blue had to pull out against Acno and Heisen to take that one, or whether we will see them going for those team combos again. And as soon as I thought it, they pulled out a pretty sick team combo, and now a pretty hefty stock advantage coming through. Ariel relatively low. The side stick will take out Simple, but he is just into the second stock. Blue still alive here as well on his third stock. So, looking really, really good right now for the red team. Eventually evened up in terms of the numbers, but in terms of the HP, it could still go the way of the red team.
Blue's going to have to pull something out of the bag. Aerial especially is just being thrown about like a ragdoll right now and not really able to find any kind of an opening to pull off those guitar strings, especially that he was looking so good on earlier in that game against DM Binker and Blaze.
And already getting through, Zapapi and Aerial's getting him real deep in the red, and Simple and Blue having a very strong presence right now. Blue being an absolute force to be reckoned with. It looks like Simple taking Zapapi off on the right side, and Aerial's taking a little bit of damage, getting knocked away from the platform by a little bit of a wall bounce off of that side light. But it looks like the kill from Simple will be going underway and getting the one stock left on both Zapapi and Aerial. This is a very difficult position for both of the blue team members to be in, and they're going to have to figure a way out of it as soon as possible.
It is looking really scary right now. Blue on this spear, making quick work of Zapapi. Certainly is. Zapapi will manage to trade one back, but it's not really going to be enough to kill. The neutral sig comes through from the sword of Koji, and it will take out Aerial. It's going to be Zapapi now in this 1 versus 2. 4 stocks to find. He's so very low. He's trying his best, doing a great deal of damage, splitting them up. He likes to go for those reversal grab cancels on that side sig, catch them off guard. It works here. Nice little bit of tech coming in. It always looks fancy. The classic boomy play, but unfortunately not going to be able to find the kill. Simple is around to save Blue, at least for now. This is getting a little spicy.
Oh, is
Blue
he about to get the
down.
double? Oh, he almost got the double onto Simple. The clash not quite enough to get that KO off on the bottom and force the fall. Zapapi, of course, getting launched now from the side sig from Simple, and that is going to do it. A nice attempt to clutch the match did take a stock off of both the red team members at the end, but wasn't enough to eliminate either one of them, unfortunately. And that is going to be a one-game win ahead for Simple and Blue to start this winners finals off.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, still, looking like Blue and Simple, that dominant force as we were maybe expecting coming into the tournament. Zapapi and Aerial, again, maybe not so much experience against them, and ultimately it is kind of, again, that mental game. You can kind of outplay yourself, outthink yourself. No changes in Legends from the blue team. Zapapi, a change in skin. He's more of a robot than a Mexican god of death, but all the same, the same moveset and all that. At this point, we'll see whether the skin makes any kind of a difference for him.
Already getting into the mix. Zapapi with that bow. He's got the Terminator skin. He's ready for what is the new one? 0 Hour? I can't remember. Blue and Simple getting back into the mix.
I don't think anyone cares anymore. Terminator.
Honestly, it's been a long time, and I don't think very many people like the last one. Either way, Aerial is going to find the blue team is going to find 2 kills on a Simple and Blue, and they're going to force them into a lower position. And Aerials and Zapapi, of course, not quite in that red zone, that danger zone, where they can be taken out by a gust of wind. However, Aerials is going to be taken out by a tatami mat, and following suit, and maybe not quite yet. Zapapi making his way back to stage. Whoa, okay. Well, he definitely had the opportunity to do so, but kind of just took the fall instead. I think there was a little bit of a mind gimp there from the red team, and maybe caused him to question his own movements there. Either way, this is getting back into the mix. Blue and Simple having evened up the stocks and even taken a little bit of an advantage, especially considering Aerial's health pool right now.
Yeah, indeed. It is looking relatively good for them, but a neutral sig landing and a side sig onto his teammate, but then onto the enemy. What's going on? Zapapi is just absolutely mental, throwing out whatever lands. He doesn't care who it's hitting. Sure, he trades it back, and I suppose things looking relatively good. It's all down to Aerial, though, to make this stock last. Zapapi is just throwing out random attacks, and it's not working out. Will eventually get taken down. Blue going to get spiked down, but Simple is in. The neutral air going to send him flying straight back up, and he'll survive a little while longer. The red team, some kind of a miracle coming in from Zapapi to really help them back in. Aerial denied the chance of getting the full neutral off, looking to try and catch a gimp with the recovery, but not going to happen. He's in the red. Blue's in the red, but on his second stock, so he's going to be able to come back here and, of course, help Simple out, who's looking to survive this 2 versus 1 for now. Weathers the storm, and it will be back once again into that advantage for the red team.
Aerial getting the slap on a Simple off on the side. Finding the slick finisher in forcing that elimination and sending him away. Blue stuck in the middle, and this is going to be a little bit of a team combo right now. Ariel looking for the side air, and then Zapapi coming in with a gravity cancel. Oh, but the ground pound on an Ariel, and he is not making it back. And now we got a 1v1. Zapapi a little bit more health in the pool compared to Blue, but Blue does have the weapon advantage. That potentially couldn't mean anything. There it is. No, Blue is going to survive, and the weapon throw allowing a little bit of a disruption, but Zapapi does manage to finish it off at the last second with the recovery. Blue almost having that opportunity to find the clutch 2v1 win and taking that situation, but no, it is going to go in favor of Ariel and Zapapi, enforcing that even set.
Indeed, going to be a real damn close one, though. I mean, Zapapi with a lot of team damage coming through. Fortunately for them, not going to be too detrimental. Ooh, in the end, I believe that's my green screen falling over. That's hilarious, but all the same, looking relatively good here as we're on small Brawlhaven. You might just have to take over on your own for a sec while I just stand this back up. I was just having a reshuffle.
Yeah, either way, we got game number 3 underway, and it is Ariel and Zapapi just trying to get as much room as possible. It is a very tiny map. It's small Brawlhaven, one of the smallest in the game, especially for 2v2, and we have Blue and Simple just trying to get as much damage as they can. They got the closer, more heavy-hitting, up-close weapons. I mean, you can definitely make the argument for Hammer, but that's not in play right now. He's got Katars, Ariel does, that is, and Simple is just trying to get as much damage as possible. And Blue making his way. We got a little bit of a black hole team combination going on between Ariel and Zapapi, or Blue and Simple, and Ariel trying to get a little bit of retaliation damage. Zapapi coming in with a haymaker, finding the KO, and Simple just throwing out to Tommy Mats left and right, somehow summoning them from thin air in the air, and finding Zapapi, throwing him up into the sky and up into the upper corner. And now Blue making his way back on the stage, but that is not going to be the case for Simple. He is going to get caught by that slide kick, ground pound, and sent into the depths of, well, you know where. Simple now going off stage, going for a real deep dive into Zapapi's Instagram as he looks for those entry points. That Hot Ones interview is not going too well for Simple, though. He wasn't able to find the KO, at least by the last dab, but Blue turning things around, trying to take a little bit of the heat, forcing Zapapi off onto that right side. Simple, of course, coming in from the left, forcing a little damage onto Ariel, putting him up into the sky. Zapapi coming in from the aerial side with the bow, picking every single player up with a downlight, and as it should, that disjointed hitbox being a very nice way to make an approach onto an enemy player. And Simple, of course, taking a cloud nap, I suppose you could say, getting launched up into space, up into those clouds on the Brawlhaven that you see in the background. Very nice background, of course, too. And as well as Ariel's off the top, so many KOs going down one after the other. Zapapi throwing out so many things as well, getting the gravity cancel off as Simple comes back into the mix. How's that green screen? Are we good yet?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. I am back.
All right, cool.
I was waiting for that opening. You've been going at it for quite a while there. But yeah, things being kept really, really even here. Small Brawlhaven's just all about the battles, of course. Simple narrowly misses that, or dodges, I should say, that down stick coming in from Zapapi, but it is briefly here going to be the stock advantage for the red team. Will they, for the blue team rather, will they be able to hold on to it, or are the reds going to be taking them out? It looks like Zapapi will fall. Ariel pretty low as well. Got to be careful, landing a few downlights here or there, but it's not really a great deal of damage. A little bit of a sig, though, coming in. Of course, going to make that difference. The down sig, got to be careful of it. The neutral sig as well, going to catch Blue. Okay, and they both go out at the same time to two different people. It'll be the Blues now. It'll be Zapapi and Ariel taking the lead in this set.
Definitely a fast finisher from both players on the blue team to find those signature kills off the top of the map, and that is exactly what they wanted. But we are going to see a very quick swap from Blue over to the Asuri pick, losing the bow for the Katars. Maybe realizing that that is probably the way to go. And Simple, of course, switching over to the Ragnar as well. A solid pick all across the board from everyone in this game. I mean, Axe is a powerhouse in 2v2, and so is the Katars. And I think we're going to get that a little bit of that double Katars action, and that might be a catalyst for the red team to bring this back to even, a 2-2 in the set potentially, but we will see.
Indeed, we certainly will. Let's find out. As again, bit of a change coming in from that red team. That axe looks ridiculous from Simple, but the damage that it's doing is pretty ridiculous as well. Chilling off stage here, going to hit the recovery as well. Zapapi taking a lot of early damage, looking to try and make his way back on, but the down airs, the falling down airs, and the two-man neutral Sig doing so much damage. As Simple has taken very little himself. He is dominating right now.
Yeah, that umbrella of death from the Ragnar pick, it catches the rain and brings the pain. Of course, Zapapi and Ariel just still barely surviving, but on their last legs. I don't even know if Ariel is going to survive that, and no, the answer is as he takes the fall into that bottom left corner, and now Blue just holding that corner against Zapapi. Zapapi deep in the red, and is he... I mean, Blue and Simple can just turn onto Ariel right now because any approaches that Zapapi makes is incredibly risky at that point. And now the side air is going to find that finisher and send him into a fresh stock.
Zapapi trying to take out Simple here. Simple coming out on top, but at least the recovery will give him some room. The down air comes through from Ariel to take out Simple finally. Still doable here. I mean, Blue is chilling off the edge. He really wants to hold on to this third stock, just looking to make his way back in, doing a bit more damage. The guitar's not going to catch with the neutral Sig, though. Azuri classic. I'm sure we've all been on the end of one of those, but unfortunately for Blue, not going to land this time around. Obviously, though, still on this third stock. He's going to have a great deal of time to maybe try and make it work later on. Capitalizes on Simple's catch, gets a recovery, and it's a Pappy down to one stock. Sure, Blue just loses his there, but a heavy stock advantage, a heavy HP advantage for that red team coming in.
Ariel and I'm trying to get onto Simple. Simple with the spike, though, is going to find the KO onto Ariel off on the bottom of the map. And Blue now with the approach onto Zapapi, holding that ledge against him. And Zapapi getting a little bit of punish from both the red team players. And Simple trying to get that pickup with the neutral light, but it's not going to connect. And Zapapi getting just interrupted at the last second. And Blue finding that KO. And now Simple and Blue in a fantastic position. 2-2 on the stocks for both of them. And still not even finding a KO. Ariel still looking for a single one at this point, but not able to find it even after so many heavy hits.
Ooh, good dodge. But he dies. So, you know, unfortunately, to no avail, ultimately. Yeah, indeed. I mean, the changes coming in from Blue and Simple going to come back with a vengeance. As... I don't know, man. That looks so very dominant. This is very similar, you know, up against Akno and Hyson. They managed a bit of a reverse sweep, and it seems to be happening somewhat here again. This one's been a bit more back and forth, I would say, in terms of the maps, but all the same, you know, if they continue that trend into this final round of the set, it is really going to be difficult for Ariel and Zapapi to find anything here. They are looking so good right now on the
And yeah, we have, you know, game 5 right now between these two, Simple and Blue, just coming off an incredibly hot win. They've been heating up the whole time. Zapapi and Ariel's needing to find something here to really carry them through, and a lot of damage, a really early Gimp, anything along those lines will do it. But either way, it's going to get real nasty, boys, as we get right into the mix. And Ariel's like right there. There's Zapapi right there off stage, and Ariel's going for the kill as well. Simple taking the double dive, going right off stage, and that is exactly what I'm talking about. That double early Gimp giving them such a huge advantage. Ariel and Zapapi doing the exact work, the work of the gods here in Brawlhalla. What a fantastic play to start this off.
Yeah, indeed. The Blues coming back angry as they will manage 2 very early kills. Like you say, it's all about the timing of them, really, because now they're able to sponge a hell of a lot more damage. The Pappy almost getting taken out. He touches, but the ground pound surely going to finish his life. It will indeed. And the recovery almost taking out Ariel. So the Reds looking to even things back up. Not too shook. The down air coming through. Ariel will manage to survive just a second longer as the Pappy was in to sponge the weapon toss. Oh, nice little find from Simple, though, to take him out. And in all fairness, considering the earliness, you know, that they were able to get that stock advantage, they've not really worked it hugely because the damage that has been done onto this red team is not massive. It is still recoverable at this point in time, and that is what they're looking to do.
And that's exactly the kind of situation that you want to get into, of course, right? Is you want, even if you get taken out very early in a very quick fashion, getting a lot of very careful plays and getting a lot of damage off without taking it at the same time is very desirable. And that is what we saw from the red team, getting a very even comeback. So that very early Gimp did not get to them. You can tell that their mental is intact. And of course, Blue doing a fantastic job at holding his own. Simple, having lost that first stock, or that second stock, still it's going to cost them a little bit, but at the same time, Blue is doing a fantastic job at holding the team together.
Nice pickup coming in from Blue. He will indeed, again, even things back up, like you say. That linchpin at the moment, looking to take out Aerial and gain some kind of a stock advantage. Not looking to go deep for the kill, though. He has thrown his weapon away. You're going to have to play a bit more passively for now. Nice find coming in from Zapapi off the downlight into the recovery. Unfortunately, not going to land. The side air does hit. It's a weapon toss that finishes it off, though, and the stock advantage for the Blues coming in. Aerial is very deep into that red, but
it's the second stock on that Blue team, so he's got to hold on to it as long as possible, but that might not be the case. Simple finding the finisher on the bottom, the spike with the axe, sending him down into the bottom, and that is going to be it for that second stock finally, says the red team, as they finally even up those stocks and make it a much closer game. Now Simple and Aerial having to pull this back in. Remember, this is the elimination. These are the final stocks for all these players here before one of these teams gets sent down into the lower finals. So we'll have to see who comes out on top. But Simple and Blue doing a fantastic job at holding their own, creating a lot of space for Aerial to get trapped in. And Aerial looking for those signature moves. Blue going off stage, trying to pressure Zapapi. Zapapi getting knocked off stage. And now both Blue team players, everyone off stage now, just trying to survive a little bit longer. Simple going for the shark recovery. Unfortunately, he's going to get caught out. That's going to be a KO from Aerial, and Blue all by himself. But if there is anybody here who will be able to get a situation like this in the 2v1, it is Blue, and he's got both Aerial and Zapapi in that red zone, in that danger zone, to get taken out, and they still have to be so careful. One signature move could send Zapapi or Aerial to their death.
Yeah, the difficulty of Azuri, though, I feel, a lot of those SIGs not quite as fast as maybe he would want. I think just saved for a second there from the recovery. Going to take a bit of damage, avoids the neutral SIG. Weapon throw. Is it going to be enough?
Aerial? No, the save comes in, goes for the recovery, not going to connect with the neutral light, or the neutral air is going to be enough, and now it's just Zapapi and Blue. He's got the 1v1 intact, and Zapapi denying the weapon pickup, so Blue does have to be very careful, especially with that bow, having a lot of disjointed ranged hitboxes. Now playing the island, there's very little option here for Blue. He goes for the weapon throw for maybe a potential approach, but Zapapi really having the advantage up here. He doesn't want to give that up easily. The weapon throw now coming across, missing that follow-up attack. Now Zapapi is the one in the back end with no advantage. Now he's got the bow again. He can get that down light and into neutral light. Oh, catches with the frame lag on the side SIG, and that is going to be Zapapi and Aerial going into the grand finals. A very close finisher between these two teams. Blue and Simple are now going to be going down to the lower finals to face off against Akno and Hyson, and determining who will be the one to go back up into the grand finals. Will it be Blue and Simple making their run back through that lower section to make their way and try to get that salty run back against Zapapi and Aerial? Or will Akno and Hyson come out on top? They've been very strong, and they've been on a huge run so far through this lower bracket.
Yeah, they really have, especially, when they both swap onto the Ragnar, it seems. Akno definitely does like the Bryn, but he seems to be saving it. Or maybe, not going to pull it out at all. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, that is a tough one. Again, just watching it back on the replay, of course, handy it's in slow motion. So shout out to the boys for that one. But yeah, Blue just kind of dashing in, thought he could punish, thought it was maybe a bit higher. But of course, you kind of forget the panic, I suppose, of that movement. So we'll see. That is a difficult mental kind of moment to get past. Is it going to make a difference coming into this series? That is kind of the question that we have.
Then we will find answers soon enough as we get started. Blue and Simple versus Hyson and Akno. losers finals game number 1 getting started right now. Let's see who you want to win in the chat. We got Blue and Simple getting a lot of damage off, but so far it's been even. A lot of blows been traded back and forth. Akno getting carried off on the top. Not gonna find a KO though from Blue, and that is just right there. And Blue cannot get back. Simple all by himself for the time being. He's gonna have to be real careful.
Yeah, definitely. I think he was caught off with, you know, very little available to him in terms of jumps, in terms of that recovery, of course. Especially on the sword, covers a hell of a lot of vertical ground, I guess. Either way, they are looking to try and even things up. It's a nice find by Blue coming in. Akno going to get the neutral sig onto Simple, but he's not quite taking enough damage to be taken out by it. Slowing things down a little bit as they look to group up the spot dodge onto the down sig. Simple robbed of that kill. Akno very well played individually. Side sig comes in. See you later. And it will be a stock advantage now for the blue team. Akno, how long is he going to be able to hold on to this third stock, though?
Simple and Blue now collapsing on the blue team, and they are going to find a KO in the side air from to Akno, and he is going to lose his first stock finally. And Heisen now taking a huge amount of damage, getting carried off into the top. Blue trying to make his way back in as well after being hit by a guitar recovery, and a half pipe coming out from Blue as well on the guitars. And a little bit more damage followed up on the back end as well. The Umbrella of Death coming out, but it's not going to catch anybody. Heisen making his way back. Simple looking for that KO opportunity, and there it is. The kind of fadeaway jumper ground pound coming out, and it's going to be onto Akno as well as he finishes him off with that side air. And now Heisen looking for the KO here, not going to find it just yet. Simple making his recovery, and Blue getting launched out, and it looks like it is going to be a double team kill onto that red team, and it is going to be even stocks across the board.
Yeah, certainly looking good then. Which way is it going to go? Splitting into these 1 versus 1s. Heisen really wants to help his teammate out though, as Blue is kind of making quick work, trying to go for the GC neutral sig. Not going to land though. Blue waiting to edge guard here, unfortunately denied the opportunity. Heisen, who seems to have taken the brunt of most of this action in the past few moments. Deep from Simple. Heisen, is he going to be able to survive? Gets the chase dodge, but it's not enough. He will go down. It's going to be Akno in the 2 versus 1. This axe on the beefy hits could definitely, as he's hitting the side airs, could definitely see this one through. Hitting the weapon tosses as well, not quite able to catch Simple. He dodges the side air in time. They're playing together, going for a greedy side sig there, and it will cost him a fair amount of damage. They're playing above, they're playing below. Simple! Oh my goodness, no!
Is he able to get this 2v1? He's got Blue in the 1v1 right now. Both players in deep in the red. Blue holding on to that corner, looking for that quick edge guard. Akno getting caught by it, and I don't think this is going to be it. He still... No, he doesn't have a recovery to get back, and that is going to do it. That is going to be all she wrote for game number 1. Very, very close comeback for Akno, but it is not going to come to fruition as Blue does end up taking it down and finishing that game off. A very clean edge guard to finish that game, and there we go. That is going to be 1-0 in the set. Moving into the second one, we're going to see some map bans. And if I had to guess, I'd probably assume Mammoth Fortress, but we'll see.
Yeah. It's probably where they want to go. I mean, between Thunderguard and that at the moment, they do seem to be waiting to decide which one. But
well, it's a 50-50. You know, I don't think we've really seen Thunderguard so far, so this might be the first time all weekend.
Maybe that's what they're kind of going for as well, you know, like the catch-off kind of pick type thing.
Something a little different. It's a long stage with a gap in the middle, the shenanigans zone, so to speak. So we'll see how people utilize that zone. That's the main change from this and any other flat map. So we'll see how this goes.
We will indeed. As the action gets underway, it is that blue team going to be taking a fair amount of damage. We're actually seeing a legend swap here, which is kind of interesting, I suppose, from Akno and Heisen. Akno pulling out something completely different. Of course, that Mordex still right at the top of, you know, tier lists and whatnot. In the 1 versus 1s for sure. 2 versus 2s, we'll see. It's going to be difficult, I think. Blue taking very little damage here at the moment is certainly going to be a big difference maker, but the Mordex going to find that opener on to Simple. That is what they were looking for. Blue going to have to once again maybe, you know, carry the banner for his teammate, for his squad overall, because again, very little damage taken. He's able to just play safe, play around, go for those cheeky 1 or 2 hits. The Azuri actually going to take out both of the players there. I was going to say that kill onto Hyson, bit of a surprise, I suppose. But all the same, it's going to be that stock lead in favor of the Reds. And again, Blue is just edging into that orange damage at the moment, looking very clean.
And if anything, it's the fact that Simple was the first person to lose a stock, considering his teammate Blue had barely any damage built up at all, and he still isn't even in the orange health yet, which is an incredible feat in that first stock. Akno about to get taken out, perhaps. No, weapon throw. Hyson making his way back as well. Simple making his way back to the wall. Both players on the Blue team who were recovering through that shenanigan zone, and now Blue looking for an opportunity to get a little bit more damage onto one of these opponents. Looking for that sword edge guard force play, and Akno, getting the wrong directional read, but looking for a lot of damage right now. The side sig combo is going to lead him to the death for Akno, and Blue sitting on his first stock is looking at Akno in his last. What a very different situation that we're seeing right now, and Simple finding another KO, and this is 5 stocks to 2.
Ooh, Akno going very, very deep there as well. Will manage to get the spike and the weapon toss coming in. Those gauntlets finally paying off for him, but is it really going to be enough? Blue, you know, eventually loses that third stock. It's kind of inevitable that that's going to happen. It's just the fact that it takes so very long. Oh, and not getting the active input. Simple sent straight back up the top. He will be very thankful for that indeed. So Akno maybe not as clean on this Mordex as maybe he was hoping. And it is definitely showing as into the orange. A team kill, but also 2 Ragnars fall. 1 will return. Akno now finds himself in the 2 versus 1. That is certainly a little messy for sure from Blue, but they're not too bothered. Still got 3 stocks for Akno to get through.
Akno almost had that ground pound out and would have had Simple dead to rights, but unfortunately the turnaround happened, and Simple and Blue just put enough pressure onto Akno in that situation to knock him down into the bottom and take a game number 2, and they're looking incredibly strong right now, and it looks like they're trying to make that run back into the grand finals. They only need 1 more win in order to do so.
Hyson and Akno then thrown for a loop. Akno goes for a bit of a change. Hyson stuck with it, but now going to be on the brink. Where does Akno go from here, though? He is certainly struggling somewhat, it would appear.
I mean, he had the Mordex pick, so it looks like he is going to be making a change to the Ragnar this time. A very safe pick, of course, a very successful pick, and going with the double axe composition here, I think is going to be a very nice change of pace for their team. I think they're going to get a lot of success out of this, because this is something that we've seen a lot of success out of a lot of teams so far this tournament. The double axe with those Katars, at least on 1 character, has been a very nice team composition for people to use. So we'll see how this fares for them in game number 3. And they're going to need this to work, because otherwise they are out of the tournament, 3rd place, and Blue and Simple will go back up to that upper bracket side and have another chance at winning this whole thing. But we will see how this goes. Game number 3, Simple and Blue versus Akno and Hyson.
Indeed, it was the opening set. There was exactly these 2 teams. It was very, very close between them. Blue and Simple seemingly tested by Hyson and Akno. We were excited to get back into it, but it seems that, unfortunately, Simple and Blue getting a bit of a heavy read. It's going to need the reverse sweep from the Blues. Can they get it done? A slight change, some comfortable picks, some different picks. Ultimately, though, they start off relatively strong, I would say. Hyson taking very little damage. Akno, however, is into that red. Like I've said, this time around, not having the best of starts. Down goes Blue. The opener comes in.
Like up goes
Simple.
Blue.
Oh my goodness. Playing with fire down here. He does manage to get that kill onto the Akno.
At the very least, they can equalize the stocks and keep it in a very controlled situation. Blue getting a little bit of damage off onto Akno, getting a nice combo off of the gravity cancel sideline as the continuation of that piece. The Simple now with the axe looking for a little bit more damage onto Hyson as the side sig comes out and does find a KO onto Simple as Blue tries to survive in a situation here against both of these Blue team players with that double axe. which is a very dissonant situation indeed. Simple getting a little bit more damage off of those neutral lights. The pass off play from Blue, of course, and now the recovery off on the top on the Heisen is going to equalize those stocks, and the damage is coincidentally enough. Blue now with the approach, Simple with the approach on the Acno as well, and the avoidance from that side sig is paramount for Blue as he tries to survive just a little bit longer.
Yeah, definitely this Bryn pick from Heisen working out for him, as everybody's on the 2 stocks, but everybody's in the red apart from him. Oh my goodness, no way he gets gimped here. Surely not, as it was going so very well for the Blues. They will lose 2 stocks in quick succession. Heisen especially was just barely into the orange. He will immediately return one back here. But Simple, if he can look to survive, if he can do some damage before he loses this stock, the great team combos coming in from the reds. So very clean. Simple will eventually go out here. Surely nothing left for him, but no, saved briefly by Blue. Eventually goes down, but they are both in the white right now on their final stocks. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, it has fallen apart for the Blue team.
That was possibly the nastiest double pickup team combo I've ever seen from either one of these teams. Blue and Simple just had it in spades right there and got so much damage, and now Heisen and Acno are in such a bad position that they have to be extra careful moving, especially off stage where they can get KO'd almost immediately. Simple now coming up with the guitar plays. Heisen looking for a little bit more damage right now, trying to build up that damage up on the Simple now. Blue looking for the KO of the neutral airs onto Acno, trying to take him off the top. Still doesn't quite have him in the situation, but Simple now playing the center of the map, trying to hold that map control, look for opportunities to get a recovery potential onto someone like Agno or Heisen if they go too high in the sky. Blue looking for that KO, and that is going to be it on the side air. Agno now holding onto the wall, trying to play a very careful game, but Blue being the patient one as ever, looking for those situations. The dodge, a spot dodge off stage, and the weapon throw is all he needed as they take it down 3-0 in the set. Real nasty, boys. And Simple and Blue are making their way back up into the grand finals to get that salty run back against Zapapi and Ariel. Team Nasty Neighbor in tow. Let's go.
Man alive, that was such a pivotal moment towards the bottom end when Heisen goes out, and then we saw that great 2-man combo just immediately bringing things back in favor. Simple and Blue on fire. They were loving that one. They brought it to it. It was a close series. It was a close series to open up against Acno and Heisen. But when they met them again all the way down, at the tail end of the day, they make quick work of them, and that has got to be scary. Ariel and Zapapi, if they were watching that one, are going to be quaking in their boots for sure.
Well, you gotta wonder, are they going to though? Because they just came off of a win against these guys. I mean, they might have been heating up the whole time, but at the very end, Ariel and Zapapi were able to stop that in just the last second in Game 5 and moved into the grand final. So they have the advantage right now. They only have to win 3 games to take this whole tournament down. Blue and Simple, on the other hand, have to win 6 total games, and whether that takes only 6 or has to go the full 10, that's what we're going to be finding out right here. But either way, Blue and Simple have a double the distance to get right in here. Ariel and Zapapa versus Simple and Blue here in the grand finals, getting ready, the beginning of the end, the final episode, the final chapter. Let's go. Let's hear it in the chat. Blue and Simple getting things started, even with the team damage. Let's go.
The boys right now on the small Brawlhalla. That's what I was looking for. Rubbing my hands in delight. It is looking real good right now. A hell of a lot of damage coming in early on. Zapapi, again, beefy at the moment. Does manage to trade that down sig. You got to watch out. The axe is so very good on small Brawlhalla. Those small kill boxes, let's say, across the top and the bottom of the map especially, but also in the sides. He is going to capitalize perfectly as the side sig GC coming in, looking so very good right now. Out goes Ariel, but my goodness, Zapapi, after a poor start, will find to it. Is evened up very, very quickly by Simple and Blue, though. Damage control coming in from the Reds.
And of course, getting things started off real hard. Blue making an approach and getting a lot of damage. Just a lot of team damage being built up between Simple and Blue. Of course, Simple going real deep off stage. He's got the recovery left to get back, and he is going to get that wall touch. Ariel trying to get that weapon throw to disrupt a little bit of that offstage movement, but is not going to connect it. And now Ariel getting off the top, Simple getting launched up into the sky from the recovery as Ariel gets the double recovery, finds a KO onto Blue, and Simple trying to stay alive in the middle, but there's no room to move. This is such a small map, and is going to get caught with the ground pound off stage, and that is going to be another stock gone as the red team starts to take a deficit here in the stock game, and it is only 2 stocks up on the blue team, and they're still only so close from getting killed in that danger zone. They've got to be increasingly careful because this could turn around in an instant.
It certainly could. They've got to be very careful indeed. Simple getting taken down relatively low, playing with fire off the edge. So Pappy just waiting for his teammate to come back in so he doesn't get 2v1'd, especially because he is on that red. Nice little bit of movement, but can't avoid the axe recovery. Of course, the full 360. There's so very much that you've got to be dodging there. Unfortunately, not able to do so. It'll now be down to the 1 stock across the board, but it is that damage difference, at least for now. So Pappy, got to be careful.
Blue in a fantastic
low
position right now. He had Zapapi off stage. Zapapi managed to make his way back on stage, though. Ariel with the recovery, looking for the kill on the Simple off on the top, and it's not going to happen. The ground smash coming in from Ariel with the electric spike. Going to find Simple, and that is going to be a KO on a Simple on the side. And now we're going to have a 2v1 situation for only a split second as Ariel finds the recovery off on the top and takes game number 1. And you can see right here that they are taking that momentum that they had in the winners final, and they're just running with it, trying to get this tournament finished out as soon as they can with all that kind of pressure. And you can see right now, Simple and Blue don't want to keep these small maps on the table anymore. They want these long maps. And so, of course, of Thunderguard Stadium, of Blackguard Keep, of course, we're going to see Ariel and Zapapi take the swap to the smallest of those 3 here on Mammoth Fortress, which still isn't very small, but still it's what they can work with here. And, of course, we're going to see a swap from Blue as well to the Thor pick, the God of Thunder himself.
That's what I am looking forward to. The GOAT skin as well. Maybe, just maybe, Blue can prove himself to be one of the greater players, at least of the day. Maybe not in the game, that might be a bit far. But, well, yes. There you go. You see what I was doing. Yes, indeed. But all the same, he's feeling confident. Maybe that's why he's going for this. The mind game's coming in. However, once again, it is the Blues starting off well. Nice little catch coming in onto Ariel, but he's able to survive. Pappy is feeling it right now on the axe of this haze off, looking so very clean, does a bit of team damage there. However, he makes up for it as he gets the dare onto the opener, but it's Blue straight in with the return.
It is very rare for... I don't even think I've personally seen anyone find a KO with that neutral sig, but now Blue going off stage to go looking for that weapon throw. Not going to find it on Ariel. He's going to make it back on the stage, and a little bit of turnaround is going to happen right now as Zapapa and Blue both getting into the red, really deep into the red, as Blue tries to make his way back on the stage. He's in a very dangerous position, but no one's going to go hard pressed into him with an overextended ground pound. So that's maybe a good position for him to be in, but a missed opportunity for the Blue team potentially. But either way, Simple now trying to make his way back. Zapapa going for those ground pounds. Simple barely surviving by the skin of his teeth, even though he's a robot and doesn't have any skin. Who knows how that works? But either way, Ariel going off stage, looking for that electro spike gravity cancel, and it's not going to find anything, even though on the other side, Blue is going to find that KO onto Zapapa and force him into his second stock after so long.
Yeah, that is indeed the difference here, but a great deal of damage comes into him early on. Ariel as well, going to be down to that final stock rather. Cena number 1, of course, always a bit confusing when it's very hectic, as it is at the moment here on the Mammoth Fortress. Ariel got to be careful. He's taking a hell of a lot of damage from both of them. Zapapi trying to get in, trying to get a side stick. It doesn't land, though, and Ariel has taken so much damage. Simple and Blue, meanwhile, are keeping a hold of their second stocks relatively well. Oh, the trade on the down air. Simple with a fantastic spacing. And the ground pound coming in, the spin, the instant ground pound will take down 1. It'll leave Ariel out here to dry, really. It is not looking too good for him by himself. He's able to get the downlight into the recovery. It doesn't get the kill, though. It's looking real tough right now. They need to get rid of these stocks. The recovery comes in, takes out 1. Blue is able to survive, but now he dodges the weapon toss. He dodges any kind of action coming from Zapapi. So the fact that he's still on a second stock is really going to make the difference. Ariel as well, being so very low, he will eventually go out. So it's all going to be on to Zapapi in the 2 versus 1, and it's looking tough right now.
Yep, there's the elimination onto Aerial, of course, from Blue, or from Simple, and that is going to be a very precarious situation for Zapapi. Zapapi trying to find a ground pound, find any sort of KOs onto any of these red team players, but it is not going to happen, it seems. The weapon throw is coming out right after the down air from Blue off stage to force Zapapi into the corner of the map, and that is going to be game number 2 going the way of Blue and Simple, tying the set 1-1 so far. Remember, if Aerial and if Aerial and Zapapi do win this out, they win the entire tournament. However, Blue and Simple, they need 2 more games to just reset the bracket and have another chance to potentially win. So we will see how this plays out, but we are going to be going to Twilight Grove, and all the different angles on this map and the different places people can hide may allow for a little bit of a different mindset in terms of surviving and coming in and just finding different sorts of combos. So we'll see how this plays out here. Blue and Simple versus Aerial and Zapapi. Game number 3 getting started right now.
Looking good early on as weapons retrieved by both the blue team. Blue has yet to find one. He will be denied a little while longer as well. The bow coming through, trying to do some damage. The orb picked up though, and Blue, of course, using that platform, or well, the island, I guess, I suppose, the solid island, that wall, the most solid part of it. People going to be bouncing off that when they're on the low HP. Zapapi going deep, and he will indeed get a little bit punished. The high up weapon toss, but a great GC side stick coming in from Simple. Not able to find the kill. Simple survives a little while longer, and Zapapi taken out early on when he was on relatively low damage as well. A really good opener from the red team.
A lot of damage still coming on. Aerial has to be very careful. He's in that red zone, in danger of finding himself being KO'd very soon, especially due to the fact that Blue has a hammer and Simple's got an axe, and both of those are very heavy-hitting, high knockback dealing weapons. And so he's got to be on his back foot right now, but he's just still in the mix, getting a lot of guitar damage right onto both of these players, looking for those recovery options because, oh, there's the down sig, finding 1 KO. Simple looking for an offstage play against Zapapi, but he's not going to find any success as Blue comes back into the mix with an orb and allows his teammate to get right back.
Ooh, nice little turnaround from Zapapi on the down air. Will manage to spike out, and now we're even on the stocks. The blue team getting back into this one for sure after a bit of a poor start. It is now looking better. It is now looking good. Simple has yet to take any damage on his second stock, though. Zapapi trying to change that fact. Still got his recovery available, but in comes the ground pound a couple times in a row, in fact. And again, as soon as they even things back up, Simple and Blue straight back into the running. Bring it down to the Reds. The HP advantage for them. Weapon recovered by Zapapi, looking to try and land some SIGs, but needing some big damage right now. We'll get another side SIG in, though. Down into the orange goes the red team, but in the red, they are so very deep on that.
Oh, no!
Simple, no, what's happened here? He will manage to survive just a bit lucky there, one has to say, and they will manage to take out Zapapi. That was hella close for just a second.
Aerial getting spiked down to the floor, bouncing off that island at a 90-degree angle. That is going to cost him another life here as Aerial and Zapapi get put into their final stocks. But Blue, of course, and Simple as well are both getting very close to that kill zone where they could be taken out by a slight gust of breeze. And they got to be very careful, especially of some of the harder hitting moves from these characters, like especially Azoth with some of these really high, hard-hitting signature moves. And there goes Blue, losing that second stock. Only Simple left with the second stock, and he's getting brutalized in the middle. He's able to turn it around, get a little bit more damage out, but it's still very close damage being dealt between these two players.
Still could go either way, but it is unfortunately Aerial going to be going down, and now the two-man combos coming in. Zapapi had like an inch of space to play with there, and he will perfectly find himself in it. Nice find as he takes out one, trying to now very quickly make good use of this 1-versus-1 situation. He finds himself inside, SIG comes in. He is a little bit, untargetable for just a second, not able to move, gets dive kicked down. It's a recovery catch from Blue, though. I think we all felt that one coming. We all felt the end of that game. It will indeed, though, no matter how it ends, it will be Blue and Simple up now to 2 games going their way. 2-1, of course, needing to find that 3 together reset on the bracket.
They only need one more in order to do so, and if they find that reset, then it is every team for themselves at that point, and anyone can win and anyone can lose out. At this point, Ariel and Zapapi are looking for that comeback in the set to try to finish off this tournament and take that victory royale. Just kidding. But we will be seeing them deal a little bit more here, blue banning out the maps, and they are going to be going to Shipwreck Falls, of course, leaving very little wall space and having a very difficult, dangerous positioning off stage is something that everyone's going to be wanting to avoid. Here we go, getting started here on Shipwreck Falls. Simple and Blue, Ariel and Zapapi, game number 4.
Here we go then, moving straight in. The weapon's going to be retrieved fairly quickly. Things looking good for both sides at this point in time. Still pickup coming in, a lot of damage actually onto the red team, and Blue going to go down very early on, as does Simple. 2 quick kills come through for the Blues, and they are straight back into it here on Shipwreck Falls, looking very, very good indeed. In the first few moments of this one, they are able to quickly gain a strong lead.
Blue and Simple simply getting brutalized right now. Blue already reaching the red in their second stocks. Ariel and Zapapi still in the yellow on their very first. So whatever they might have discussed in between the last game and this current one, they have found something that works for them and more successful than has ever been successful for them before, as it seems. As Blue and Simple are approaching the red in their second stocks already before Ariel and Zapapi are even in a kill point. And there's another KO on a Blue and Simple team wipe.
My
again,
goodness.
Ariel and Zapapi still full stocks. This is insanity right now.
It certainly is. I mean, just coming out of nowhere. It did not look this dominant. It's been hella close all 3 maps, really. And they just pull whatever the hell this is out of the bag. Down goes Ariel eventually, and Zapapi almost following. Got to be careful off the edge there. Of course, those slim walls, but looking to just play the range, playing the weapon tosses. I believe that was from his teammate, but manages to survive a little while longer. But no, he will eventually get taken out by that hammer return shot from the Thor, played by Blue, of course.
Simple and Blue
Looking
are going to have
relatively good on
so
it.
much work to have to come back from in order to bring this back to just even of all things. Blue and Simple trying to get a little bit more damage out, but that is going to be Simple getting eliminated now. Blue on his last stock, caught in the air, and he's going to take the full force of that down sig. Weapon throw not going to connect, and that down sig not going to connect either, surprisingly enough. But the weapon throw is all he's going to need for Zapapi to eliminate Blue from the contention right there. And that game 4 is an extremely, extremely quick, dominating performance. I mean, look at the damage from the red team. Blue having only done about 200 damage. That is how little work the red team was able to get off in that game. Neither one of those red team players got over 300 damage off, and just a huge dominating performance from both of those blue team members. We're going to see if they can keep that momentum going in game number 5. Either Ariel and Zapapi win right here, or Blue and Simple reset the bracket, but either way, it is all on the line.
Going to be going to that Twilight Grove once again then. It's a map we have seen in this series. It's a map, if I recall correctly, it was Blue and Simple actually taking it, so this could be favored towards them, but Ariel and Zapapi definitely revitalize as we get into the 5th final map, at least of this side. Maybe, just maybe, the final map overall. It depends on how Simple and Blue perform. We will see. Are we going to be crowning Zapapi and Ariel the champions, or are we going to be seeing this series continue? Only time will tell, as weapons picked up by everybody here. Zapapi starting off well as he looks to continue the trend of that previous round. Looking relatively good.
Simple coming
Ariel,
down
though,
with the
going to get
spiking.
spiked down. And it will be the
Zapapi
kill.
tried to go for the assist, but he was not able to get there in time and tried to get down there. Almost got in the sight lines of Simple's axe and barely managed to avoid it, all while allowing his teammate to come in for the assist and get that KO onto Simple as well. Blue still holding on to his first stocks. Zapapi as well, trying to hold on to those first stocks as long as possible and extend it to the point of contention here. Blue making his approach across the map and finding that side air onto Zapapi, almost finding the KO confirmation, but just not quite yet. They're looking for those big Chungus plays, of course, stuff that they can really throw onto their opponents and just swing the tide of battle instantaneously.
Pretty nice find. Unfortunately, onto the wrong player, and he will get taken out by the side air of Blue. Aerial now just looking to wait. He's taken so much damage so far in this second stock. We've mainly been focusing on Zapapi and his journey of survival, and yes, indeed, Aerial going to get taken down. Unfortunately, Blue's still on this third stock. It is looking good for the Reds. Again, they are fairly confident. They are fairly safe on this map. A good catch comes in from Zapapi, though, with the recovery, as that neutral, of course, on the hammer. So many active frames can easily be punished. Zapapi doing a good job of it, but still Simple here on his second stock. Blue just into the second stock, you know, straight on the white, looking real safe. Nice little pickup, though, as it was only just in the red for Simple. I think that was pretty close to, you know, not being able to kill, but it will kill nonetheless. Back into even now, but it is that damage game that is making the big difference here. Aerial in the orange and not really looking too good for the Blues. It's going to need one of them to step up. Zapapi has been looking good on the axe so far, looking to find a bit more damage, but something needs to go heavily the way of the blue team right now.
Well, right now, Aerial deep in the red, very much in danger of elimination. He's got to be careful. Aerial looking for those signature moves, a little bit of high-hitting, hard force disruption coming is something that he's trying to look for, but he's caught without a weapon, and Simple by that weapon spawn, he's going to trap him a little bit. Zapapi with the bow as well, trying to just create a lot of cover for Aerial to move around in, maybe allow him to, he tried to turn around and find an unarmed opportunity to get a little bit more damage off, but he's going to have to rely if he gets caught in one of those risky plays. That's a double kill onto the red team, and now Blue in an instant switch up moment, Blue taking on the last stock for his team. This is the tournament stock for him and his team. If he loses right here, it is all over. Zapapi with 2 stocks, Aerial with 1 more. He has the opportunity here to find those kills because both blue team members are deep in the red. And Blue really coming in with the orb, finding a KO on Zapapi, giving him a little bit more room to work with, but he's got to find that KO on the Aerial if he's going to have any chance of taking this down whatsoever.
This is getting tight at this point in time, trying to play in between the two of them, taking bits of damage. Nice little catch from Zapapi as he does indeed get that dodge out. Going for the ground pound, a little bit risky, just narrowly dodging the recovery. Of course, the issue here is Zapapi being in the white. However, it's brought down to the 1 versus 1. Blue looking to very quickly even things up. He himself has not taken massive damage at this point in time. Nice recovery catch as they are playing things slowly. The neutral goes out, not going to land. They are stacked on top of each other. Both players so very nervous at this point in time, so very panicked, trying to get the good reads on each other. The bow going to be picked up, arguably, of all the weapons that are here at the moment, the better one to be going for Zapapi, but a great deal of damage from Blue. This 1 versus 2 is looking doable. The 1 versus 1 comes through. The down sig.
Zapapi stuck on the wall right now. He has to find something to get a little bit of damage off. Blue with the hammer plays, looking for the heavy hits. He's got the side air. He's got the weapon throw. Zapapi still with the recovery. Taps the wall for a second. No, he doesn't have the recovery. He gets stuffed out, and Blue finds the victory and moves into the reset. And we're going to be coming up on a 6th game now. After this complete reset, Blue and Simple have done it. Blue with the 2v1, getting 3 stocks back in rotation in his favor, being able to save his team from elimination. Good job, Blue, and insane plays coming out.
I mean, he picked the goat skin, so definitely proving a point and definitely, you know, channeling that goat energy for sure. But yeah, just the perfect catch. As you said, you know, you would think Zapapi, does he have his recovery? But no, he used it, you know, very quickly as soon as he picked up that axe, then goes for a GC into the side sig and got caught doing that. If he had his recovery, would have survived a little while longer. But Blue, it's kind of one of those moments where you're looking at it and you just think mentally, you just think inevitably this is going to go the way it has to now. You know, he's done the hard work. This is the easy stuff. But now it is kind of the hard work beginning for both teams. It's straight back down to the reset, 0-0 apiece. But of course, it is all to play for. There's no second chances for either side. And a great deal of damage being done early on.
Blue with an insane damage carry play from coast to coast onto both blue team players is going to start this blue team off with a lot of built-up damage, and that is going to be a bit of a dissonance starting things off, and a little bit of an accidental aerial side air onto his teammate Zapapi is going to knock him a little bit away and add a little bit onto that damage counter, but Zapapi finding that ground pound on a very nice read, not going to find the KO onto Simple, but it is going to push him away for quite a bit, and Aerial now taking that recovery hit is going to be launched out of the map, and that's going to be the first KO in the reset portion of the set. Aerial and Zapapi now looking for a KO potential onto Blue or Simple, and whether they're going to be able to find it is up in the air, and that is where Simple was heading.
Blue going to trade one back onto Zapapi, though, looking to survive again. This Thor is such a good kind of, you know, that term that we've been using, that stock tank character. He's so good at just staying alive and dishing out the damage. Really good stuff from Blue, especially. We saw Agzo earlier on playing it, and he's taken a leaf out of the book, it would appear. However, Simple, he's taken a great deal of damage. Blue is managing to survive still, and, you know, again, dishing out that damage, like I say, but it is Simple that is kind of the weak link at the moment. They are looking to try and abuse that right now, and the blue team, dare after dare after dare on the axe, none of them landing. Blue eventually gets taken out. Simple dodges a weapon toss, but dies. So, a bit of a messy one there. It will now be a stock lead, just, albeit a tiny one by the looks of the HP. But all the same, it is in favor of the Blues right now.
It's very different this time around. Aerial getting a huge amount of damage onto Blue, getting a little bit of like quarter pipes onto him, starting the half pipes from not wanting to dedicate completely to it. Blue charging up that uppercut, not going to connect it with anything nearby. Maybe a bug if it flew by, but I didn't see that one. But Simple now trying to make his way back to the center of the stage, but no weapon in hand is going to make a very difficult approach for him to make that travel. Blue getting knocked off on the left side as well as Zapapi and Aerial creating a map control right now as Zapapi tries to get another hit on a Simple, and that is an elimination on Simple. Blue by himself having to grind out 4 consecutive kills now to bring this back in his favor is going to be heavily stacked odds against him. Maybe he can fix them against. He can fix those odds by taking out both of those stocks like he just did, and now he's at a better position. But now fresh stocks for 2 players versus 1 is not a situation anybody wants to be in.
Yeah, indeed. But I mean, you know, just a few moments ago, he was able to pull off this very same feat. Unfortunately, the change, I think, is kind of the stage that has been picked. There's not really as much room for him to run around and escape, you know, his opponents and try and split them up. As we can see, just being taken off the stage again and again and again. Zapapi waiting, biding his time, trying to probably get a ground pound in here, but no, looking for the spike of the down air. It is going to be landing, but Blue not quite low enough to bounce straight off that wall to his death. However, he's lost his weapon, and surely his life quickly follows. This would be something incredible if he's able to pull it off from this point. Side air comes in, takes him out, and it will indeed be the first map of this second set, of course, going the way of Zapapi and Aerial. So unfazed by the fact that they're straight into the reset.
And sometimes that's where you have to be in your mindset. You have to be unfazed no matter what happens. You have to keep in mind that each one of these games is just an individual different game from one another. If one has a really bad outcome at the very start and you get forced into those bad positions throughout the entire rest of one game, it does not mean anything relatively close to the second game right afterwards. You have to have that professional competitive mindset where you have to take everything in tow one at a time. Nothing is certain, and you just got to play it by ear for the most part. And that's what I think we see these people doing with, with a semblance of a little bit of a plan. Blue going off stage looking for the KO on Zapapi and is going to find it. Unnecessary weapon throw is going to finish off Zapapi 20 seconds into the match, and that is going to be some big Brawl plays coming out right now. Some big wrinkly, big brain Brawl plays from Blue off stage to get that early KO.
Indeed. Looking relatively good then. Oh my goodness, that's a messy one. Aerial gets sent straight into the side stick from Zapapi on that bow. He will indeed take a great deal of damage. The kill going the way it is not looking as good. This Twilight Grove is actually really good from Blue and Simple, honestly. It seems to be a free home map. Oh my goodness, Simple though, he miscalculates, takes out his teammate. And that will maybe give a small window of opportunity across to the blue team. Simple's still, fairly safely in that third stock, but you never know You never know. The Blues should be able to maybe just capitalize a little bit on that chance that they've been given now.
Ariel ends up happy, splitting off, trying to get the 1v1s. Blue trying to come over and help his partner Simple, but he's not able to get there quite in time in order to help save his stock from elimination. Of course, that was the first stock, so it's not as much of a loss as it could have been. Simple coming right back in, doesn't even care, no weapon in hand, and still finds a KO with the ground pound off stage onto Zapapi, and that is going to cost this blue team a little bit because Zapapi has been doing a lot of the workhorse, powerhouse, horsepower, whatever you want to call it. I don't know why I'm on this horse bend right now, but Blue right now and Simple are just taking it in tow, and Zapapi with a fantastic reversal off stage to take the stock off of Simple with the dodge through reverse ground pound weapon throw off stage.
Looking pretty decent then, as it will be brought back into, again, that slim advantage for the Reds. What can the blue team get done though? Not really a great deal of opportunity for them showing itself. Side air comes in though, and that is obviously the difference that Brawlhalla can bring. Zapapi fairly low though, and he has been such an important part of this blue team in all honesty. He'll get sent high. Simple tracking him, following him down, trying to take him out. Ariel doing good work though, as they're all very distracted by his teammate, but again, it is just the fact that, they're this one step behind. The damage seems to be enough. However, it has been even back up. Could go either way at this point. You have to look across at Ariel and Zapapi relatively deep into the red, and it shows itself. Blue going to get a kill pretty easily, and the recovery coming in. Ariel was ready for it, but not ready enough. It will indeed be Blue and Simple straight back in. Now into a 1-1 scoreline. I mean, it's so hard to call.
It is. I mean, all of these games have been back and forth, very even, except for very few of them, like the Game 4 set from the pre-reset with Ariel and Zapapi just popping off harder than you've ever seen them go before. Going now in the game number 7, I believe, the 7th game of this grand final series, the 2nd of the reset getting underway. We're going to Miami Dome this time around. It's a small map. There's 2 platforms and very, very close blast zones, so they're all going to have to play very careful this time around. Getting caught by any heavy hitting moves could send them way out into the sides into a KO, and that is something that no one can afford at this time. But the red team is going to be getting the early advantage off the weapon pickups.
Certainly looks that way. It depends on how they're going to be able to use it though. Blue with no damage taken for quite some time there. Certainly going to be making that difference. Has definitely been, performing really, really well since he pulled this Thor out. It has been working. Ariel stepping things up at the tail end of the previous game, as now he looks to do the same. This hammer hitting hard as it always does. Zapapi though is deep into the red at the moment. Just get the reversal. The weapon toss is dodged by Simple. Kind of helps his opponent out there by hitting him back up. The side air going to come in. The weapon toss follows up. Still a recovery available. Dodges the side air. Oh, and the clash. Is it going to be enough? No. Simple's able to get back on with the dodge. We'll see. Can Zapapi survive? He will get a return on that little down air. Unfortunately, again, so very close. Not able to find any kills yet. On either side, a risky breakdance off the edge. Almost getting taken out. It's the side air that eventually finds him. Ariel had already fallen early on. And again, Blue and Simple just one step ahead with that stock advantage.
Zapapi right now, right on top of Simple, getting punished though. The Simple trying to take him off on the top, and Blue doing a great job of getting a lot of orb damage out. Reversal recovery from Zapapi though is going to send Blue straight into the sky and force a loss of that stock, and that is going to do it right there for that first stock off of Blue. Simple still holding on to his very first one, and this stock extension is everything that they need. If he can find another KO like that, double ground pound off onto Ariel off stage, and Zapapi holding on to this stage presence. Zapapi, the President Zapapi, leading the nation. Miami Dome, the mayor of the sick EDM beats, getting taken out by Simple on the right side. I'm really not sure where I was going with that at all. I have absolutely nowhere. Either way, Blue and Simple with the double hammers is going to take the place of that double axe that we've been seeing throughout the entire tournament, and I think it's going to lead to some quicker KOs, especially in the horizontal frames on this map.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely looking good for them. They've pulled it out, looking pretty effective. Again, just seemingly one step ahead here as, you know, they brought it back to that 1-1, now looking to make it 2-1 and already getting the reverse sweep. They've definitely, you know, you have to think about how many have been won. They've definitely been on top of things for the most part. Again, just kind of that one step ahead. But we will see, of course, whether the trend continues. Blue going to get taken out. They are so deep into the red here. Aerial arguably saving the life of his teammate for just a while longer. Second stock taken off of Simple, but it's still going to need somewhat of a miracle. Blue gets the side air in, not going to be enough to kill. Looking to try and get the recovery, but not really given the chance. They are playing this slowly here. A risky down sig comes in, but Zapapi with no weapon cannot capitalize. He's now left all by himself. Misses the downlight into the recovery. Not that it really would have done very much, and gets taken out by the side air in the end. It will indeed be the victory going the way of Blue and Simple. So now taking the lead.
And now, I mean, this is just flipping the script back on Zapapi and Aerial, getting a little bit of revenge for that winner's final, taking the reset in the first half of the set. And now in Game 8, taking another victory and pushing it for even further beyond. We're going to be seeing Blue and Simple look for that third and final win here in game number 9. And if they can do that, that is the ideal situation for them, taking this tournament down after such a long grind back through this grand finals to take that victory and take the prize.
Well, let's see. Can they get it done? It is looking likely if they continue the trend. Going to be a tough one to call, though. It has been very, very close across the 2 series that both these, you know, teams have played against each other. Of course, that winners final way back when, actually knocking Simple and Blue down into the lower bracket, just to remind you guys, of course. But we'll see here. It was 3-2 overall as well in that kind of that reset game that Blue and Simple won. So it has been very close. The history would dictate that we would be straight back into, you know, a game going the way of the Blues, and it is kind of looking likely. They do seem to have a slim advantage, almost picking up 2 kills, but they themselves are deep into the red. Got to be very careful. Out goes Aerial, and Zapapi looking to survive the next few seconds as he is left on his own, and he will indeed make it out. That breakdance, he's been going for it so very often. It eventually lands, and it will be back into even 3-2 on us. Either side, but just for a second. Just for a second. Blue and Simple, again, seemingly one step ahead.
And Blue trying to survive Zapapi, looking for that KO, trying to chase down Blue off on the side, picking up the axe. He's going to get a little bit of an extension of range in his journey to finally take this first stock off of Blue. But Aerial, his buddy, is going to be the one to do it, and that neutral air off the top is all it is going to need with that damage buildup that they had onto Blue. Simple now off on that left side, looking for a lot of this vertical aerial sword play. The versatile play that is exactly needed and brought to the table by Simple here. And the weapon throws coming out. He's trying to make his approach as Blue on the other side tries to pressure Zapapi off stage. Zapapi just trying to play a safer game with those recovery options and get back onto stage while dealing maybe a little bit of damage with the gravity cancel side stick. Is not going to end up in any KO options just yet for the Blue team. And he's also going to lose that sword, the axe. But there it is. The recovery off the top, not going to finish, and everyone in a pretty damaged state aside from Simple, just trying to survive at this point.
Yeah, certainly looking good for the Reds as Zapapi goes out. It's looking good early on, but definitely, you know, Simple and Blue with this change have really caught the Blues off guard. Now going to have this pretty heavy stock lead coming in, trying to isolate Zapapi as, he will actually get the return, and Blue went out very quickly indeed to Aerial, of course, so they have even things back up into 1 stock piece across the board. However, it is that damage again that has been done to the Blues that is making the difference at the moment. Zapapi into the red, not looking great. Maybe going out here, he will indeed. Simple, of course, bringing it now down to the 1 versus 2, and it is looking really, really good for the Reds. They are making quick work of Aerial.
Yep, and Simple and Blue looking to take this tournament right now. Aerial very caught off guard in the sides of the map. And Blue and Simple take it down. They are your Brawl at the Beach 2v2 EU champions with that final recovery, catch, and smash at the very end. That is going to be it. The victory 3 and out at game number 9 after a long, grueling grand finals here. Blue and Simple taking it down with that victory, and Ariel and Zapapi coming up in second. Of course, going over the final tally here of who we have in what positions. I believe that is going to be Blue and Simple taking first place, Ariel and Zapapi in second, Acno and Hyson in third, Fizz and Machete in fourth place, and then tied for fifth, DM Binke and Blaze, Viper and Agzo as well in the fifth place position, and then tied for seventh, Pavelski and the Ninja, as well as JK Zyder and Daiku. And that is going to be it in the top 8 today. Don't forget, next weekend is going to be one of the biggest lands of the year at CEO, with a lot of players coming out to Daytona, Florida Beach. And that is going to be an exciting one at that. It's going to be huge on the main stage of CEO, if I remember correctly. But that is going to be one of the biggest ones of the year. So make sure to stay tuned. Of course, I am You Got Froned.
And I'm Scrib.
And thank everyone for coming out. We'll see you next time in Brawlhalla.